opening day, which happens in just 1 week. Stay right there. Astros baseball starts right now.
From the ballpark of the Palm Beaches in West Palm Beach, Florida, we welcome you to a little Monday Night Baseball, the final of our 9 telecasts from the Sunshine State. We'll have one more Root exhibition game broadcast from Minute Maid Park. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Blummer, this is our 9th telecast. 8-day games. We got a little night game today. Everybody kind of getting ready to wrap things up down here.
Yeah, it is kind of nice to play these night games late in spring because you are getting out of that routine where everything's going to be in the morning, heading into that opening day where all of a sudden everything's all at night.
We see both catchers in the lineup today. Brian McCann will be the DH, and behind the plate, Evan Gattis.
Yeah, it's good to see Evan Gattis. We've talked a lot about what he's done in the offseason to prepare himself for this. The shoulders were a little sketchy coming into spring, but he's done a lot of work out in the cages, working with some of the catching instructors, working on blocking the ball. We're seeing it pay off. He's a lot more patient behind the plate, doing a great job of receiving the baseball. And a couple of days ago in St. Lucie, we saw him throw out a couple of base runners, which was nice. The hard thing is to get him in that lineup because we know McCann's going to catch a majority of the games. But the thing for Evan is last year set a career high in home runs with 32 and the OPS at 826. So that's a good bat to have in the lineup.
Gattis will be catching Colin McHugh, who makes his first spring training start. It is the Cardinals in town against the Houston Astros. What we'll have to tell you about during the course of the broadcast. We'll hear from A.J. Hinch. We'll take a little scouting report at the AL West opponents. Also, the opening day starter Dallas Keuchel, and much more. A little first base defense with Jeff Blum and Adam Everett during the course of the show as well. Stay tuned. Our first pitch is right around the corner. Julia Morales is next.
We welcome you back to some Astros baseball on Root Sports Spring Training, our last broadcast from here in West Palm Beach. The Cardinals are in town for this night game facing the Houston Astros, and they are ready to rock and roll for the season. But just a few games left, and a very important one tonight as Colin McHugh takes the mound. He was dealing with some dead arm early on in spring training, so behind as far as other pitchers go, and he probably will not start with the team in Houston. Likely that he'll stay behind and get a few starts on the minor league side, try to work his way back. But a good sign for him to be out on this field today, the main field. They got good feedback from some of those last outings he had, so they wanted to test him against some major league hitters. Minor league side, a little bit different intensity over there, so get him over here. That way they could set the tone on what needs to happen next for Colin. Where do they go from here, and how far will he go in his next outing, how that shoulder will respond. But this team needs Colin McHugh to be at their best, so they're hoping it doesn't take very long. And for more on today's starter, I'm going to toss it up to Jeff Blum in the booth.
I appreciate it, Julia. Yeah, big day for Colin McHugh. Yes, most likely he will not break with the team because he does need to ramp up those starts and really stretch himself out that we've been talking about with the other guys that will be in the rotation. But for Colin McHugh, it's a big day today because we have got our Toyota keys to the game. I want to talk a little bit about what this means to Colin McHugh. Number one, just get through it. Get out there, have your outing, get back in the dugout, and feel good about yourself. The next one is call me tomorrow, because we keep talking about that shoulder. It's one thing to go out there and feel good during the performance. It's how is he going to feel tomorrow, because he needs to bounce back in 3 or 4 days to make that next start. That's a big key to the health for Colin McHugh. The third one is probably the toughest one on there. Is be patient. He has got to be patient with the process and understand that he is building up strength in order to help this team down the stretch.
Colin's a guy they really counted on the last 2 years, and it's going to be unusual to not see him start the season with the big league team, but hopefully shortly thereafter. And I would think after being on the backfields for a while, a little more adrenaline tonight. Yeah,
that's part of it too. You want to see how he reacts under a little bit higher stress situation, face some big league hitters. You can't just go out there and say, I'm going to throw 15 pitches. It doesn't matter where I throw them. I'm just going to throw 15, get out of the game like you can in the minor league side. A.J. Hinch is always talking about how they can control the situations out back. Out here, not so much. He's going to go out there and have to compete.
Let's take a look at the lineup that Colin McHugh will face this evening. Our first night broadcast for you on Root Sports this spring. Dexter Fowler will lead things off, acquired from the world champion Cubs. He leads off in center field. Aledmys Diaz, Yadier Molina. Matt Adams getting a chance to play some outfield. Jose Martinez, quite a spring. He's at first base. Greg Garcia, he's made the team as well for the Cardinals. He's at third. Harrison Bader in right field. Colton Wong at second base. And Carlos Martinez, the pitcher.
Heading into the opening day series, you're going to see Aoki in center field. You're going to see Carlos Beltran getting us some more time out there in left field. Granted, you probably won't see much during the regular season, playing mostly DH. Preston Tucker, that's a big one. Another guy coming off a shoulder injury out there in right field. It's going to be good to see him get some ABs. And just a completely different right side of the infield with Brignac and A.J. Reed over there.
And here is Fowler, and we are underway. Our final telecast from Florida. A couple of more games, home and home with the Miami Marlins for these Astros. I think a lot of people are jealous that our spring training is over. Not that we don't enjoy West Palm Beach or the state of Florida. It's just that time of spring where everybody's kind of antsy to get things rolling for real.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see my family, to be honest with you. It's been a good 12, 13 days down here. It's been some good broadcasts. But I think we're all ready to do it for real.
2-0 pitches, hook foul by Dexter Fowler into the second row down the right field side. Fowler having himself a nice spring, hitting at .351, stolen a couple of bases. And he wears those high stirrups, showing off the Cardinal stripes. Shift is on. That means Carlos Correa to his left makes the play nicely on a well-stung ground ball, and there's one away.
Pretty good job by the Astros in the shift situation. 3 guys crammed over there on the right side. It's tough to hit it through there, even though Fowler hit that ball pretty well. Carlos Correa in great position. I think it's also interesting in spring training, too. They talk about working on things as far as situations, first and thirds, bunt defenses, and PFPs you hear about constantly.
Just over the outstretched glove of Carlos Correa into left field. Aledmys Diaz has the first hit of the game.
Old-fashioned ambush from Diaz, but what I was trying to get at is that this day and age, you don't just run out to your position and take ground balls. Now I'm sure that Carlos Correa actually will take ground balls where you saw him out in that shift, because at home in years past I've seen Altuve on the far on the shortstop side taking ground balls and working on that long throw, so it's not entirely foreign when it happens in the game.
We saw a play, you were doing the game with Steve Sparks on radio, we saw a play with Bregman on the left side of the infield, made a great play in that game against the Mets of Port St. Lucie. And that's as Yadier Molina swings the first pitch, and he hits one to right field. Preston Tucker will get the ball back in, and the Cardinals have first and third on back-to-back swings on the first pitch for base hits. But it's nice to have a guy like Alex Bregman who can be the lone guy on the third base side.
You have 2 shortstops on the left-hand side, but you're exactly right. In that shift against Fowler that we saw Carlos Correa make the good play on the right-hand side of second base, Bregman's all alone at shortstop, but he's comfortable over there. Came up as a shortstop, still has the range in the arm to play some shortstop, so you really don't lose anything defensively.
Bregman playing his 4th consecutive game. Yesterday had the day off as the DH, and he wore that as a 22-year-old might, with a lot of veterans around him in the clubhouse. Matt Adams, the batter. see what he did last year, getting a chance to play some outfield this year with the Cardinals and left field tonight.
It's mandatory that a 22-year-old at DH is, yeah, you got to wear it.
Fouled back to the screen. It was still a topic of conversation even right before our broadcast for some. So,
yeah, still wearing on these guys a little bit.
1-1 the count. Well, McHugh is going to be out there for 3 or 4 innings, probably 45 to 60 pitches, depending on how he feels. So it'll be interesting to see how he mixes up his pitches. And he's working out of the stretch, obviously, for the first time tonight after back-to-back hits and trying to work out of his first jam. That one's fouled back. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
That ball was elevated, but Colin will pitch in the upper part of the zone. Not afraid to climb that ladder, so to speak, especially with the zone changing and getting some of those calls. But what it does is it sets up that breaking ball for him, too.
Threw that curveball more last year than he did at any time in his career. Away with that, it's 2-2. Just underway. You can see the shadows creeping in. That's the first time we've dealt with that this spring with all-day broadcast prior to this evening. Chop foul at the plate, stays 2-2. See the sun setting.
It's going to be a little tough out there in center field and right field as the sun continues to set.
Yeah, welcome to the first spring training game for Preston Tucker.
Good point.
Right in right field, shading his eyes before every pitch. There goes the runner, Molina. It's a chopper towards A.J. Reed. Foul ball. Foul ball is the call on that little chopper. They have Angel Hernandez listed as one of the base umpires, but I don't see anybody out there at first and second. Angel's over at third. Okay, so he's starting at third.
Yeah, keep your eye on him.
Larry.
He's going to have an impact.
At third, it's tough, but you never know.
Yep.
Larry Vanover, Greg Bigson, your other umpires on the bases. They rotate at times. David Rackley behind the plate. Fastball upstairs, and now the count's 3-2. McHugh last year led the team in starts, led the team in innings pitched, strikeouts, and wins. He won 13 games for the Astros last year. Two pitch is hooked fair down the right field line. Scoring easily is Diaz. The third goes Molina. The throw from Preston Tucker is in time to get Matt Adams trying to get to second base. How about that? Tucker with shoulder surgery in the offseason. It is his glove side, but he gets to show off that throwing arm on his first chance against Matt Adams.
Pretty good idea about the health of Preston Tucker. He's been getting ABs on the backfield, but does a good job of hustling over there. And I think that's what Gary Pettis does with these guys. He is constantly telling them, rush to the baseball, pick it up cleanly, and come back into the field with a good, strong throw. And right there, it pays off by getting Adams.
He was uncertain as to how good he was feeling coming into this game in terms of where he's going to be once the season starts. He really doesn't know what the next step is. And to be perfectly frank, neither do the Astros. They're going to wait to see how he recovers from this game and make a decision as the team leaves Florida to see. Preston will probably end up staying down here, you would think, with some extended spring training at bats. That was a very impressive throw for the second out. Helped out his pitcher, Colin McHugh. It is a 1-0 Cardinals lead on that RBI by Adams. One pitch misses a little low to Jose Martinez. Martinez has hit his way into the opening day roster for the Cardinals. Team high 17 hits, team high 4 home runs, team high 13 runs batted in, hitting .378. And now McHugh misses away. It's 3-1. There's a breaking ball for a called strike, and the count is 3-2. 29-year-old Colin McHugh making his first spring training start. In the air, down the right field line, tough play, long run for Tucker. It's a foul ball, and on one hop into the crowd. McHugh started his career with the Mets, a couple of years with them, and then moved on to Colorado, and then the last 3 seasons with the Houston Astros. 43 wins over his last 3 years.
Yeah, 2015 wasn't it? 39 wins between Dallas Keuchel and Colin McHugh. Very good 1-2 punch.
McHugh was in the top 10 for the Cy Young voting that year. Yeah, 19-7 Colin was in 2015. Since August of 2014, this might surprise some people, just one pitcher has more wins in the major leagues than Colin McHugh.
Wow. Who is it?
Jake Arrieta.
He's pretty good.
He's not bad. He is not bad. But Colin McHugh, since August 1st of 2014.
What's interesting about that, too, is that both those guys probably have pretty good run support. I know Colin McHugh does, but Arrieta has a very good offensive team that helps him out, even though he is an excellent pitcher.
39 wins during that stretch for Colin. And he is getting extended in this very first inning. So we'll talk to A.J. Hinch in the 4th. But 22 pitches already in the first. 3 consecutive base hits, and now Martinez with a long at bat.
So the pitches that are being left up in the zone are getting hit. The ones that are just off the edges like this that he's trying to put away Martinez with, we've seen him foul them off. So that's what you're talking about, some of these high-stress innings where guys go out there and you try and make some good pitches, but these big league hitters are fighting off the tough ones, barreling up the meat ones.
Usually, beginning of spring training, it's advantage pitcher.
Yeah.
But now all these guys have seen at bats, and Colin McHugh is making essentially his big league first start. There is a strikeout of Martinez called by the home plate umpire that he went around on the breaking ball for a strikeout swinging to end the inning. Baseball at Root Sports is presented by Whataburger. Whataburger's Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich has returned, but only for a limited time. And by the Houston Auto Show. Don't miss the world's top cars only at the Houston Auto Show, April 5th through the 9th at NRG Center. 1-0 Cardinals on 3 hits against Colin McHugh in the top half of the first inning. Astros come to bat as Orbit continues to entertain the crowd here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. And the Astros will start with Norichika Aoki leading things off. He gets to play center field tonight with George Springer getting the day off along with Jake Marisnick. Alex Bregman, Jake may get an at-bat later on tonight. Alex Bregman at third base. Carlos Correa is your shortstop. Carlos Beltran getting a start in left field. Brian McCann serves as the DH. Evan Gattis, A.J. Reed back at big league camp, still leads the team in home runs and RBIs. Preston Tucker's first start this spring coming off that shoulder surgery, and Reed Brignac starts at second.
Carlos Martinez is on the bump for the St. Louis Cardinals. He only has 2 spring training starts, but that's because he was in the WBC for the Dominican Republic. In that WBC, pitched extremely well, only threw 8 innings, but he had 8 punch-outs. He has an electric fastball, slider, but averages around 95, 96 on that heater. So get it ready, boys.
Yeah, this is a tough right-hander. He will be the opening day starter for the Cardinals. And he will face Nori Aoki to lead things off, and there's a called strike. We noticed in the top half of the first inning, the radar gun was not working on the scoreboard, so we won't be able to tell you exactly what Martinez is throwing, but we'll be able to tell from the swings, and there is a late swing on a fastball. 0-2. Martinez reached 100 miles an hour and then 101 in his WBC start against Canada. He was a little bit amped up for that game in Marlins Park. Foul ball at the plate, it stays 0-2.
Kid throws hard, and it's fun to watch because he's got such raw electric stuff coming out of that right arm, but it really seems that he's maturing, developing, working with Yadier Molina, really refining the craft with those pitches that he does have.
Way inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's what happens when you get a guy that throws 101 miles an hour to throw a changeup.
Yeah.
It has a tendency to yank it.
And that changeup is upper 80s.
I was just looking at the numbers right here. It's averaging between 79 and 92. Are you serious?
Base hit for Aoki. Past third base, past the outstretched glove of Greg Garcia. So Aoki is a leadoff base runner. Only Nori's 10th at bat this spring. He had 22 at bats in the WBC.
And only Nori can do what he just did right there. Pitch looked like it was on the inner third, but as he's vacating the box, he shoots it the other way past the third baseman.
It is impressive to see his bat control, and he sprays the ball to all fields. Tough guy to strike out. Getting a chance to lead off today as Alex Bregman takes a fastball inside. Bregman's had a couple of tough customers to face since he's come back from the WBC. Didn't get much playing time in the World Baseball Classic, only 4 at bats. Started with Noah Syndergaard. Yesterday DH'd, had Tanner Roark in the mix, and now today Carlos Martinez. You're talking about some premier right-handers that Bregman has faced since his time off, basically.
The best of the best. And like you said, it's not that middle to early part of spring training where they just might be working on a fastball and you can sit on it, try and barrel that up and get your timing. These guys are gearing up for opening day starts, so they're throwing the whole kitchen sink at you.
Check it first, Aoki back. Nori will get to see his former teammates in that first series of the season. The Seattle Mariners are in town for 4, and then he'll head to Seattle for the first road trip of the year. Astros will open up with the Mariners for their home opener on that following Monday. There's Alex Bregman with a base hit to right field. He's going to head to second. Aoki to third. Astros in business in the bottom half of the first inning with runners on second and third and nobody out.
What I love about Alex's swing is how simple it is. Doesn't do too much to get loaded. Just watch a little bit of the hands moving back, but that allows his head to stay perfectly still. And when that head is still, you're able to recognize for a very long time, but you also see how direct he is to the baseball with the barrel of the bat.
So he gives his teammates a chance for some RBIs early on. Carlos Correa will dig in first, followed by Carlos Beltran. Correa in limited at bats, 16 this spring, just 1 RBI so far. He did all his damage in the big classic with 9 runs batted in. There's a fastball away, 1-0. Those 2 guys right there in your picture, part of Team Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Yachty here got to watch from the bench when Carlos was up there. Carlos was destroying the baseball in the WBC.
Yachty gave a little tap on the leg when Correa came up to the plate. I'm sure he'll have similar greeting for Carlos Beltran, as those guys were all teammates. It's now 3-0 to Carlos Correa.
Oh, let it fly.
Infield's back. Ground ball ties the game, but Correa is thinking about more than a ground ball here. Takes a pitch on the inner half, 3-1. And fouled back. One of the two starts for Martinez in the World Baseball Classic. We mentioned the Canada start. Also started against the Puerto Rico team and went 4 innings. Allowed 2 runs, one of them earned. Ended up taking the loss in that game in San Diego. Correa faced Martinez not too long ago over on the West Coast in the WBC. That's ball 4, and the bases are filled for Carlos Beltran. Aoki on third, Bregman on second, Correa with the walk on first. Beltran and Molina exchange greetings, and Carlos Beltran has a chance to give the Astros an early lead.
We've talked a lot about the 4, 5, 6 part of the order being a tough part of the order for the Houston Astros, mainly because of situations like this. Carlos Correa was very patient, would work himself on base, and then be the guys behind him that wouldn't come through too often. But now you've got a guy who can.
Nice play by Aledmys Diaz with the backhand. He gets the force on Correa. Rob Beltran of an extra RBI, though. It's now tied at 1 as Aoki scores. But Diaz kept that ball nicely on the infield to record it now.
That was a very good play. Interesting shift, too, because usually a shortstop going to his right might think about getting the runner at third base, but with the third baseman off the line, he made the smart move. Diaz did, going to second base to get Correa.
Now with a shift on against Brian McCann, Martinez delivers a fastball inside for a ball, 1-0. Shift is on, and the third baseman, Greg Garcia, is well off the bag at third, which means Alex Bregman can get as big a lead as he wants. That's a called strike, 1-1. McCann batting .282 this spring, does have a couple of home runs in back-to-back games. 4 runs batted in. McCann has been working a lot with the guys who are in the rotation. Today getting the DH spot. So not working with Colin McHugh. We do know that McHugh won't start the season with the team, but I'm sure Brian will catch up quickly once Colin is activated. And hopefully that's not too far along. Well, you know, they haven't pinpointed a date, but the fact that he is pitching in a spring training game against the Cardinals A lineup is a good sign. Chop foul, it's 2-2.
Yeah, it's strength and how well is he bouncing back. Because in order to last an entire season, you have a routine in between starts, and if you don't maintain that routine through the entire course of the season, you're going to start to fall off a little bit. And if he's unable to go through that routine and stay strong throughout the course of the season, that's when you start faltering a little bit and leaving it hanging out there.
That ball's hit well to right, but the wind's going to keep it in the ballpark, or at least keep it off the warning track, as a long fly ball results in a sacrifice fly by Brian McCann. Scoring is Alex Bregman, and the Astros have a 2-1 lead. Left-hand hitters have had no fun this spring with the wind blowing in almost every night in the last 2 weeks from right.
Yeah, hitters are definitely ready to get the heck out of here. Wind has been blowing in consistently, at least on the broadcast that we've been on, and it's tough going into a game knowing that you have to hit a 500-foot shot to get it over a 350-foot fence.
Righties haven't minded, but the lefties have been in trouble lately. Here's a Breaking ball for a called strike, nothing and 1 to Gaddis.
This may sound a little bit silly, but you have no idea how happy I was to see a sac fly right there. I know it's spring training, but these are things that you do in spring training that carry over into the regular season, and that's driving in a runner from third base less than 2 outs. McCann is a double play candidate. I don't think he'd be mad at me for saying that. But McCann is a guy that if he rolls it over, it's a double play. Is that Hudgy over there?
Yep.
Yeah, Dave Hudgens, the hitting coach over there, talking to him, congratulating him, saying, thank you for elevating to the outfield to get that easy run.
So the Astros take the lead on that sac fly, scored 2 in the bottom half of the first, and lead it 2-1 after 1.
Answer with 2 runs there in the bottom of the first to take the lead over the Cardinals 2-1. Catch all of spring training and enjoy state-of-the-art fan-friendly amenities with the Astros in their brand new home at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Visit astros.com/spring training for tickets and info. Time is running out now, but next year this place is going to be that much better. Plenty of amenities. That is just down the road from us. That's down the right field line. But
they have one on either corner. They have one on
nice.
both sides. Party areas on the right field deck and left field deck. Great view of the stadium from there.
No, I am not broadcasting from there tonight.
That wouldn't have been a bad idea.
We could make that happen,
we could
right?
throw that out there for next year if we have a night game again. Colin McHugh in his second inning of work. Greg Garcia will lead things off. It was a really enjoyable camp down here. The first, you had been with the team obviously during the Kissimmee days, and here's a ball in the left field. It should be played rather easily and is by Carlos Beltran for the first out. Moving over here was an adjustment for everybody because everything's new, but it really is a great facility and a really great city to play spring training baseball in.
It is. Obviously, this ballpark is beautiful to look at. I think they did a great job by putting that berm out there in left center field, right center field. It's great. The bullpens look beautiful. Dugouts are nice and big in these spring training games, so you don't start running over people in bags in the dugouts, which is nice.
The city's changed a little bit as Harrison Bader takes a pitch since you played your season of Florida State League baseball with the Expos. Right?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I was able to open up with the Cardinals and the Expos when they first started in Jupiter, so I got to see that complex brand new. It was state-of-the-art back in might have been 2000, 2001 when they actually started in Jupiter. But this place, that much better than Jupiter, but Jupiter's held on and stayed pretty nice over there too.
Harrison Bader takes a pitch away. It's 2-1.
Everybody loves new stuff, right?
Yeah. Everything's fresh.
I really like you.
Everything's fresh. You really like me now?
You're new.
But by the end of the year?
Yeah, we'll talk again.
Not so much.
You may be saying that about me.
2-1 pitch. Misses. It's 3-1. You mentioned the berm area. We saw it filled for the Yankees game. I'm surprised more people don't sit out there.
It is one of the better places. Get yourself a tan, watch some big league baseball. Chill all the concessions out there.
Absolutely.
They've got Julia's lounge chairs out there.
Yeah, it's a good spot out there. Although today, the right field area, you're looking right into the sun.
Yeah, you're not watching much of the game.
Today's not your best day to be on those lounge chairs. But it is a really fun area to.
Yeah, you're risking a chance of a burned retina.
3-2 the count to Bader. McHugh's 31st pitch misses with a fastball outside, and that is a walk.
88 miles an hour.
We do have radar back. We had a first inning glitch where the radar wasn't working, and now the radar gun is working at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. And speaking of the ballpark too, for what these guys had to do in a short amount of time.
What'd you say, 15 months? Or they were saying 15 months? That's incredible.
And the final week, it was basically 24/7. It was nonstop. And there's still a few things they'll add to this ballpark after we leave, but to get it baseball ready for us, I know it went right down to the wire for our first telecast the last day of February, but it all worked out. Oh, pickoff attempt. And Bader was almost leading the wrong way.
Yeah, it's good as it is, but they will definitely fine-tune it for next spring training. God, Bader flat-footed.
He was starting to walk out his lead. Next thing you knew, he was in the dirt. That one's in the dirt on the throw, and a nice pick by A.J. Reed. Good to see Reed back here, even though he had already been sent out. He gets a chance to play one more game at the big league level. He had himself quite a spring with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs.
He really needed that, too. You want to see these guys make the adjustment and put the barrel on the ball like you saw him do it in the minor leagues.
It's funny, AJ was talking to the media about how he's got backups at almost every position, but the one area he doesn't have a ton of backups is at first base. If he wants to give Yuli and Marwin both a day off, which he did today, you have AJ Reed come in. Colton Wong, the batter, batting at 170, having a little bit of a tough spring. Always plays his solid defense, though. There's a swing and a miss at a breaking ball inside, 2-1. McHugh up to 34 pitches. Again, we're going to see him in the 45 to 60 range, so 3 innings may be his max tonight, depending on how he goes from here. 1 out into the second. There's a ball ripped down the right field line. Fair ball all the way to the corner. Tucker digs it out of the corner. Around third comes Bader. This game will be tied on the RBI triple by Colton Wong.
Tried to throw that slider again in that situation. That one turned into a cement mixer where it spun, backed up, stayed right out over the middle of the plate. Colton Wong puts the barrel on it nicely, sneaks it into that corner and gets to third base. But you talked about how it's usually the hitters are behind and the pitchers are ahead early in camp. It's flipped right here because McHugh's making that first start, which I think is a great point. But more to that is you don't see that crispness of the fastball getting through the zone. You don't see the crispness on the snap on the curveball or the slider right now either. And that will come in due time when the arm strength comes back a little bit and he gets more comfortable with the release point. But now you've got to be patient like we talked about and fight through some of these tough situations. This is just another test for a big leaguer.
Now getting a chance to face the opposing pitcher, Carlos Martinez. There's a nice breaking ball, just missed inside, but it has Martinez falling out of the batter's box. 1-1. You could see McHugh's reaction, that he knew that was a bad pitch going in, and he was just hoping somehow Wong wouldn't do damage. And he did. He put it into the corner for a triple. Called strike. Martinez says, please give me that pitch when I'm on the mound. It's 1-2.
They'll expand a little bit.
There's a ball ripped into center field for a base hit. You saw his numbers on that graphic right before the base hit. Good hitter as a pitcher, and he is very proud of himself for that RBI single.
Carlos Martinez likes to have a little bit of fun on the baseball field.
So?
I would too if I had that kind of right arm.
You don't see that reaction very often. It was a...
Too bad it doesn't count.
He was very pleased with himself after that base hit. Yeah, that won't count. That won't count for the overall stats. But it does count for a 3-2 lead for him. And back to the top of the order, Dexter Fowler swings to the first pitch and fouls it away. This is a Cardinals team that has made the playoffs 12 out of 17 years. They're not used to missing the playoffs if you're part of Cardinal Nation. And last year they did miss the postseason by a game. They went all the way down to the wire. It was the Cardinals and the Giants. It's game 162. Both teams won, and the Cardinals missed the playoffs by one game. But this is a team that year in and year out always seems to be there.
Yeah, last year was a little bit of an anomaly watching them play. Just the defensive numbers really jumped out at me. They were awful on defense. Kicking the ball around, a lot of unearned runs for pitchers, but also taxed their arms because they had to make so many more pitches to try and get out of some of the jams created by bad defense. Then a couple years before, they led the league with batting average with runners in scoring position. But the Cardinal way that we've heard so much about him has led to those postseason appearances kind of faded a little bit last year, yet they almost made it in.
They almost did, and they scored a ton of runs. But you're right, they just didn't prevent runs, and a lot of that was, some was on the pitching, but a lot was on a shaky defense.
Yeah, I'm putting a lot on that defense.
779 runs scored, 712 runs allowed. Ball and 2 strikes the count as McHugh will deliver pitch number 45. This is the early part of his 45 to 60 pitch limit, and he misses away. It's 2-2. And Cardinal Nation really travels. I don't know if there's another team that has better fan support when they're on the road, and even in spring training games, they show up.
Their rival might have a little bit to say about
Cubbies,
that, right? Yeah.
The Cubbies, yeah, it's close.
Pretty good.
We'll see some Cubbies fans at Minute Maid Park on Thursday and Friday. But I'm telling you, our hotel, which is basically headquarters for Cardinals, Astros, Nationals, Marlins, they're all in that hotel. Yep. It's mostly red, and it's not Nationals red, it's Cardinals red. I'm going to miss that hotel. I've spent a lot of time there.
I'm not.
So I said goodbye to Bach and Beethoven, the Swans that reside in the...
You got their names?
Oh, yeah. We're on a first-name basis.
You are researching.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. McHugh with a fastball upstairs, and Fowler can't catch up to it. That's strikeout number 2 for Colin. Yeah, they're brothers. And that'll be it. A.J. Hinch said, you know what, that's a good pitch to end on. Let's see Colin McHugh end on a strikeout. He did. A.J. brings him out after 47 pitches, and we will be back with a new pitcher who will be a guy who's vying for the last spot in the bullpen. More on him when we come back.
Welcome back, Hour. We're still top 2 with 2 outs, and there's a new pitcher on the mound for the Houston Astros, James Hoyt, the big right-hander who's still vying for a spot on this opening day roster. He was in this position last year about this same time, did come and help the club out later in the year, but You're looking at 4 guys who are still potentially going to make the team. Maybe not, but I can tell you, I can actually update you a little bit on this graphic. Diane Diaz has been told he won't make the team, but he pitched well this spring, opened a lot of eyes, and has been told that he can help this club this year. It is down to Yandel Gustave and James Hoyt for that very last spot in the bullpen. So Brad Peacock will be the long man in the bullpen as well. Exciting news for him. But between Gustave and Hoyt, you know, I asked AJ earlier today why the decision hasn't been made just yet. What does he need to see at this point? He said they're both going to pitch on Thursday, so they're both coming with the team to Houston for those exhibition games. And, you know, it's just preparing for anything that could happen this week. They've both pitched very well, but he also understands how tough it is to be in this position where it comes down to the end and that last decision. Blummer, you might maybe not you, but you certainly know guys who've been in that same spot. But AJ, even one of those guys in his career, where on the very last day was told which bus to get on. You know, it comes down to that, and so it is really tough for those guys. It's not any easier on the manager who's going to have a tough conversation with somebody, but just as good conversation with the other one come I think Friday the decision will be made.
Yeah, that last roster spot is not a fun spot to be. It's good to be recognized. It's good to have the opportunity. But at the same time, if you don't get the news you want, you're devastated. And the hardest part is taking that devastation with you to AAA and understanding that you need to continue to go out there and perform. So in case that roster spot opens up or they need extra help or you're a better matchup in a series coming up, you need to be ready to come back up and perform like you did in spring training. But no doubt, it's even harder when you know you've performed well enough, which I think all of those guys have. Then you've got a guy like Dion Diaz who told he wasn't going to be on there, but he's happy that he actually had the conversation because he all of a sudden vaulted himself into the conversation by pitching so well.
He knows he's not far away. If they need an arm or two during the summer, there's a pitch upstairs. It's 2-2 as Hoyt delivers a 96-mile-an-hour fastball to Aledmus Diaz. Usually there's a conversation at the end of spring training, as Julie alluded to. Sometimes, in your case, there wasn't.
Yeah, just left, you know, twisting in the wind.
Just show up and go get on the flight.
I'll tell you what, my bags are on the plane. Can I go to Montreal with you guys?
Plummer shared with us the night that Felipe Alou never even called him into the office his first time he made opening day with the Expos.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to hear was Felipe Alou say, oh, you know, you did a good job. You're on the team. And I never got it.
He just assumed you knew you were good enough to be on the team, I guess.
He was probably surprised to see me on the lineup card, too, with Montreal.
3-2 pitch, breaking ball, swing and a miss. Hoyt comes in and picks up a strikeout of Diaz, the first batter he faces. Bottom half of the second, it's 3-2 Cards.
Astros, we go to the bottom of the second, and Astros mini plans are on sale now. Pick your games and seat locations with the 15-game Plex plan, or come for the giveaways with the 10-game bobblehead series package. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com/mini-plans to get yours today. Guys, I'm going to toss it up to you. We're going to see some AL West opponents coming up here, including the Angels. What do you think about this team this year?
Tough year last year for Mike Scioscia and the bunch. You see 14 games under 500 at 74 and 88. They really, you can see, had a tough time scoring runs, 13th in slugging percentage, and they didn't have much success in the ERA either. What are your thoughts about the Angels coming in?
Well, I think the biggest thing was that what you just pointed to is the ERA was a real issue for Mike Scioscia and his roster. He didn't know who he was going to put out there on the mound from day to day. Houston Street was tough out of the bullpen. They ended up trading away, I believe, Joe Smith. But not having Garrett Richards, a solid left-hander, Andrew Heaney, I think, is a guy that they're going to have hopefully back. Tyler Skaggs is another starter that they traded back for from Arizona that should be a guy that's able to contribute. But starting pitching, there was really nothing left. They were just beat. Ton of guys on the DL, and Mike Scioscia really just didn't have anybody to really rely on. And Mike Trout, Albert Pujols were the run producers. Pujols actually had a really good year driving runs in. You expect him to do the same thing, but other than that, those were the only two guys you really had to deal with.
A.J. Reed leads off for the Astros, bottom half of the second inning. They didn't really have much in terms of table setters. And you mentioned those guys that were driving.
Calhoun's a good hitter, but not prototypical, table setter that you're talking about.
And they tried. Uni Escobar actually put up pretty good numbers while he led off for them last year, but he's not your prototypical leadoff guy. So they rotated different guys through there. As Reed fouls one back, it's 1-2.
And here sharing this complex with the Nationals, Matt Wieters was picked up by the Washington Nationals. I thought, for me, I mean, obviously the Angels know more about their team than I do, but I thought Matt Wieters would have been a nice fit over there because they had a huge hole behind home plate.
And they have a manager as the catcher. Line drive caught in the shift for the first out as Greg Garcia puts it away and kind of smiles. Actually, that's Aledmus Diaz who puts it away. The shortstop stayed on the left side. That was a bullet off the bat of A.J. Reed. So here's the first spring training at bat for Preston Tucker. Heard somebody clapping in the dugout for him.
That was me.
Oh, okay. It's good to see Preston back. Shoulder surgery. He's been working on the backfields in minor league games, sometimes getting as many as double digits at bat in a game, as he can pretty much make up your own rules back there. You can lead off the same guy every inning.
Yeah, the rule enforcement is a little iffy back on the backfields, especially when you have one ear flap on.
So Preston getting his first chance to see a big league pitcher, and in this case it's one of the best in Carlos Martinez, although the Stros tagged him for 2 runs in the first inning. RBI ground out by Carlos Beltran and a sac fly by Brian McCann. Preston down to the count 1-2.
You can see him taking some pretty healthy hacks, which is good to see, but you also see him holding on with both hands. It's that right shoulder that I think was causing some issues with him, and sometimes as a left-handed hitter, when you open up and leave that one hand out, you might overextend that right shoulder a little bit.
It's going to be a work in progress for Preston. He's not 100% now, but AJ wanted to get him in at least one big league spring training game. Hooks that ball foul. Stays 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Ex-Astro Luis Valbuena will be on that.
Yeah.
On that Angels team eventually. He hurt that hamstring again. They said it was a grade 1 strain, so he's going to be on the shelf for about 4 to 6 weeks. But we loved Luis when he was here. He was a great third baseman.
In the air to right field with the shades on. Catch is made. Harrison Bader puts it away for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down.
But they should be. The Angels should be better.
They should.
This year. I don't
How
think
much better? Are they 500?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they'll be 500.
That's a 14-game improvement.
Yes, I think they're able to do that. If they're able to keep Richards, Skaggs, and Shoemaker healthy, those top 3 guys, for me, I think they should be able to pull that off.
7-game improvement, 74 to 81 would be 500. So
yeah, you don't want to talk to me about math.
Oh, I messed it up for a second. They were 14 under last year, but that's 7 more wins. Yeah, it should be a division, and we'll see other teams as the evening goes on.
No, you're right. No, keep going, because I firmly agree with what you're about to say.
That is really going to be competitive as much as any division in the American League.
Yeah, this division, you're going to see some teams beating up on each other. We know they play each other 19 times. Mariners have made some adjustments. The Angels are just looking to get healthy to compete and get back in just the conversation. I don't think the Angels have enough to go out there and really knock anybody off the top. But I think Rangers are obviously where you've got to go through there. The Mariners made some pickups, but obviously the Astros made some quality moves to try and overtake the Rangers in the West.
And, you know, people are kind of sleeping on the A's right now. They have some arms that can do some damage if you catch them at the wrong time in a series. Reed Brignac taking a walk here. Brignac's going to be with the team heading to Houston. He's been told by A.J. Hinch he did not make the roster, but He's had himself a nice spring, 326 average while learning how to switch hit. And he knows that he's just a call away from being able to contribute to the team this year, too.
I'm a big fan of what Reed has done this spring, and I think, I'm not sure where his career was at before he came in, but I guarantee you, switching over to the other side and hitting right-handed, that'll give him a couple, that'll extend the career a little bit. He can still play shortstop, and that was the biggest thing. I know when I got a little bit older, is being able to play shortstop consistently goes a long way when you're trying to make a roster.
He's played almost all middle infield this spring, shortstop and second base. A.J. Hinch told him keep switch hitting.
Yes.
Don't.
Kids at home, switch hit.
Yeah.
You may not do it during the regular season, but if you get in the cage, mess around, switch hit. Don't give your manager a reason to take you out of the game.
When did you start?
Freshman year in college.
Wow. And stayed with it all the way through?
I had a meeting with my college coach, Bob Milano, during fall ball. I was getting absolutely destroyed. I must have gone 0 for 50 something, and not like lining out. It was swing and miss. It was pop up. It was weak ground ball. And I finally went into his office and I said, "I'm not doing it. I'm done. I want to start contributing." And he calmly sat back, set down his coffee, spit out his dip, looked at me and said, "Do you want to keep your scholarship?" And I said, "Yeah, of course. I want to be a Bear." He goes, "You better start hitting left-handed." And I was like, all right. I went out there and just continued to grind because he told me basically if I stopped switch hitting, he was going to pull my scholarship.
Wow.
Yeah.
How
and
about
I thank him every day for it.
Yeah, I mean, are you a big leaguer if you don't switch hit?
Gosh, no. No, I'm an average minor league guy, but the hitting on the left side all of a sudden gave me a whole new angle on the game and being able to move to different positions. So the versatility for me was the only reason I think I stuck around the game.
That was a blessing, that little slump you had.
Absolutely.
0-2 to Norioki. He grounds one foul.
Well, I think the bigger message in there is that baseball's hard.
Sure. Oh, my goodness.
So I learned that, I've got to learn to fight through some of these things and adjust. And you see a lot of these guys here in spring training fight through some things, adjust to some things. We've seen hitters in this camp alone, Colin Moran, A.J. Reed. These guys are at the big league level and want to be in the big league level, so they're making adjustments to their swing constantly.
Ball in the dirt. Reed Brignac on the move. The throw by Yadi Molina is in time to get Brignac for the final out of the second. 8-time Gold Glover Yadi Molina throws out Brignac to end the second. As we head to the third inning, the Astros ballpark pass is back for 2017. Get access to all 13 home games in April, including opening day, for only $59. With the pass, you'll get tickets to each game via the MLB.com ballpark app. Visit Astros.com/ballpark pass now to purchase your pass while they last. Seattle Mariners next up on our AL West look around the league, as you can see, or look around the division, I should say. They made some nice additions this offseason.
Yeah, they did. That trade in the middle there with Taijuan Walker and Ketel Marte going to the Diamondbacks for Gene Segura. I was a little surprised at that, just because I am a huge, well, I shouldn't say huge, but I'm a fan of what Taijuan Walker can go out there and do. Guy throws in the mid-90s for a starting pitcher, and he really developed, I thought, a pretty good changeup from King Felix, the one that he throws, and was effective with it. But what they got in return, Gene Segura, they needed a guy at the top of the lineup that would consistently get on base. Gene Segura, I believe, threw out 200-plus hits last year. Gerard Dyson in the outfield. They really went defensive heavy in the on the defense in their outfield. Danny Valencia, that guy has been a thorn in the Astros pitching. So probably why he's over there is to go out there and try and put up more numbers.
Giovanni Gallardo and Drew Smiley added as well, as James Hoyt delivers the first pitch of the third inning for a ball, 1-0. Yadi Molina, who threw out Reed Brignac to end the second, leads things off for the Cardinals. Yadi with a single to right against the starter Colin McHugh. McHugh's first spring start lasted 1 2/3 innings. And 47 pitches deep, allowed 5 hits and 3 runs. Hoyt got the last out of the second inning, now beginning his first full inning of work. Swing and a miss at the slider. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Get to see those Seattle Mariners pretty quick out of the chute.
Right out of the gates. Felix,
Man.
King Felix and Dallas Keuchel opening day. And then you said they've kind of named their rotation.
Yeah, I read somewhere that it's going to be King Felix, Iwakuma pitching that second game, and then Paxton and Smiley.
In the air deep to left field, but Beltran has a play on it, and he makes the catch in front of the track. Cardinals fans thought Yadi hit that a little better. 1 out here in the third. The Astros still have not decided on their game 2 and 3 starter. They know 1, 4, and 5. 1 is going to be Dallas Keuchel. 4 is going to be Joe Musgrove. 5 is going to be Mike Fiers. Today's starter Colin McHugh will begin the year on the DL, trying to work his way back, and then either Lance McCullers, Charlie Morton, or the flip for games 2 and 3.
Yeah, we have time to sit and think about things, and I wonder if it's a matter of A.J. Hinch not necessarily worried about the matchup against.
How about Matt Adams against the shift? Everybody on the right side but Alex Bregman, and the big man puts a bunt down.
You know what? I noticed something about Matt Adams in that first AB, and a couple of people on Twitter actually hinted at the fact, but Matt Adams looks a little more trim this year than he has in years past. And a good idea to lay down the bunt. 1 out of the inning. Why not put yourself on base? And I've had conversations with some of the analytic guys within the Astros organization. I asked them, I go, how do you feel about the bunt for a base hit in the shift? Every one of them was like, do it. They're giving it to you, and you can do it. Do it.
Carlos Martinez up the middle, diving attempt by Correa into center field. So Martinez has his 18th hit of the spring, and it's now first and second with 1 out. You said the division goes through Texas, but Seattle is going to be a very tough team for 162 games.
Yeah, they made some quality adjustments. But what I was getting back to with the second spot in the rotation, McCullers or
Morton.
Charlie Morton, it might be a future matchup is what AJ's looking at. How does it look down the line? Because either one of those guys is going to pitch. It's just when and against who.
Well, whoever starts game 2 will start the final game of the homestand, which is Sunday. And then whoever starts game 3 will have the home opener for Seattle.
There you go.
And there's a lot that goes into that, too.
Well, it's who do you want to face? Who has a better chance of beating them back-to-back starts? Probably is what AJ's thinking about. That's a good call.
First and second, 1 out. James Hoyt trying to work out of a little trouble. Hoyt and Yandel Gustave, you heard Julia just a moment ago talk about how the final roster spot comes down to these two. AJ admitted it's not a comfortable place for either one of them. One and one to count to Greg Garcia. And Julia, AJ's also been in those shoes too, right? The last spot on the roster.
Yeah, he said he had been in that spot a couple of times in his career. One story I think you might have heard told where he thought he was going to the majors and thought he was on the team, so they had signed a lease on an apartment and then was told that he was going to AAA. So quick change of plans. I don't know how you get that retracted, but somehow they did.
Life of a ball player.
And being traded too. I mean, you add that to the mix at the end of spring training. Sometimes that sort of thing happens as well. But just so many different stories these guys have when it comes down to the end. It's not the same for everyone.
And he said, and you mentioned that things can happen late in spring. And he said he did not want to tell either James or Yandel, you're not on the team. And, oh, by the way, something happens, you're back on the team.
Exactly, yeah. What an emotional roller coaster, right? Yeah, I mean, for these guys to focus in on what they need to do on Thursday, everything just needs to stay the same, because you never know what could happen either. I mean, he hopes, obviously, everyone breaks healthy, but there's still a week to go. So he wants everyone to just focus in on staying healthy this last week, especially those two, and on what they need to do. I know there's a lot going on in their heads, but if they can just focus in on the work, and Friday will come. But either way, these guys are going to help the Major League Club this season.
Well, one of the things they want to see Hoyt do is face lefties. He just walked Harrison Bader there as Bader draws the walk. Excuse me, that was Greg Garcia, the left-handed hitter. That now brings up Bader. So he's faced two lefties in this inning. One of them, Matt Adams bunted, so you really don't know what that's about in terms of how he's going to fare against him. But then he walks Garcia, and now he'll face a righty. So they'd like to see Hoyt in this battle down the stretch be able to get lefties out. He'll get another chance, you would think, here, unless there's a double play, when he faces Colton Wong. Speaking of lefties that bunted, got to tell you something about Luke Gregerson's morning outing today on the backfield. He was supposed to face all lefties, which he did, 4 lefties. One of them, Andrew Applin, bunted. They're like, no. This is not about your spring trade.
You're here for me.
You're here for Luke Gregerson. So they actually called him back and had him hit again. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
We need you to. We don't care if you can bunt. We want to see Luke Gregerson face lefties. That was pretty funny.
That is funny.
0-1 pitch and kind of a defensive swing. It's 0-2.
I've done that where I rehabbed with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and I was playing in their Arizona League, and the guy walked me. I didn't go. I basically just stood there.
Almost like Bryce Harper when he got hit the other day.
Yeah, I just stood there. I'm like, well, I don't want to walk. I need to hit. So we're going to try this again. Do over.
In the Arizona Fall League, you can make up your own rules too, right?
One ear flap.
I like that. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ear flap dominates over everything.
Trumps everything. You can do whatever you want.
Boyd trying to work out of a bases loaded 1-out situation here. It is 3-2 Cardinals in the 3rd inning. Astros pitchers already throwing their 70th pitch of this game. Out of play. It stays 1-2. In addition to the starter, Colin McHugh. And now we see the righty James Hoyt in there. Also expected to pitch tonight for the Astros, Brad Peacock. And he more or less is on the team at this point. The last spot's coming down to Hoyt or Gustave. Peacock's going to be the long man who can also be versatile in the bullpen. We'll also see the lefty Tony Sipp, who hasn't pitched in 9 days. And Michael Feliz, all scheduled to see action tonight. Extended at bat once again here for Harrison Bader.
Kind of an interesting inning to watch. You guys talking about how there's 1 roster spot left, and James Hoyt is out here trying to battle through some damage. It's crazy to think that he might be pitching for his roster spot right here.
And he's aware of it.
And that's the other crazy thing, and he is very aware of it.
Hoyt last year made his major league debut for the Astros in August. There's a swing and a miss, and that's a big strikeout for James. 2 outs, keeps the bases loaded.
Yeah, big pitch, good slider, started on that outer third. Break it off the plate, got Hader to chase. Very nicely done, good execution. And he has battled himself into a mess. Now it's time to battle out of it. But what you want to see is how does he handle that pressure? And he made a quality pitch.
And how does he handle a lefty?
I would say not done yet, right?
He gets Colton Wong here with the bases loaded. Wong has struggled this spring, but he tripled his last at bat. An RBI triple. Swings to the first pitch and fouls it away. Cardinals beat writers talking to Colton Wong yesterday about the possibility of a platoon, and that did not go over very well. Colton was not real thrilled with that idea. Kind of tempered his remarks in post game, but he was not real happy thinking about that. He wants to be the everyday guy. He's a very good defensive player, struggling this spring, but he said, hey, I'm just trying to work on some things.
One way to change everybody's mind in that situation, play better.
And they have some guys on the bench. You know, we're seeing Garcia. Jerko hit 30 home runs last year.
Yeah, that's another guy. My goodness.
I mean, they've got guys on the bench that hit 30 home runs. Pitches away for a ball. It's 1-1.
Maybe you should be happy with platoon.
Jed Jerko had quite a year last year, and he'll find playing time all over the field for these Cardinals. We saw Matt Adams. You talked about him getting leaner. He's going to get a chance to play some outfield this year. 1-1 pitch on the outer half. Nicely done by Hoyt. It's 1-2.
Locked Colton up with that one. Sweet little backdoor breaker. Actually might have been the split. Kind of see the hand rotate over the top of the baseball.
Does his split get a little bit of almost?
It was a funky little spin to it, wasn't it? I noticed the same thing.
There's the split. 1-2 pitch, and Hoyt gets out of a bases loaded 1-out jam. For a guy trying to make the roster, that's a big spot. 3-2 heading to the bottom of the third. Root Sports is presented by the Shell Houston Open, returning for another exciting year on March 30th. Get your tickets now at shellhoustenopen.com. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Final telecast of the Grapefruit League season for the Houston Astros on Root Sports. We'll be with you again Thursday night when the Cubs are in town at Minute Maid Park. The defending world champions. Hey, Astros Orbit. Orbit just threw one into the Cardinals bullpen. He threw a little Astros t-shirt in there. I guess making friends everywhere.
Yeah, he's trying to convert them.
There you go. They're out there looking at the Astros t-shirt. What do we do with this?
Oh, I can only imagine what guys in the bullpen are going to do to that t-shirt and try and give it back to Orbit.
Cardinals in town from Jupiter as they lead 3-2 heading to the bottom half of the third inning. There's Carlos Martinez, opening day starter for the Redbirds. In his third inning of work, gave up a couple of runs in the first. Glad the radar gun's working again. We'll see what Martinez hits in this third inning. We mentioned in the WBC, he hit triple digits a few times. Wow. Nori Aoki leading things off here in the third. Aoki's going to get a chance to play left field a bunch, probably hit towards that bottom part of the order. AJ hasn't really shown his full opening day lineup yet, but you can kind of see where he's going with some things. And Aoki could be that guy who turns over the order at the number 9 spot. Ground ball right side. Wong makes the play. Aoki retired on 2 pitches. So 1 out. Now to bring up Alex Bregman. Bregman doubled and scored his first time up. Good to see Alex get a base hit. I believe that's his first hit since coming back from the WBC. Called strike, 0-1. Breaking ball away. Carlos Martinez with that glove that matches his uniform, very similar to the style we saw out of Lance McCullers. We heard from Julia in Lance's last start that he is wearing that in honor of his good friend Jose Fernandez, who passed away in a tragic boating accident at the end of last year. Martinez wears number 18 in honor of his late teammate Oscar Tavares, who lost his life in October of 2014. 3-1 to Bregman, called strike at the knees, 3-2. Martinez, a quick worker, delivers again, and that's on the outside corner. Bregman was taken off the shin guard. He thought that pitch was away. Instead, he's called out on strikes. That is the first strikeout of the night for Carlos Martinez.
Buggy whipped that one back over the outside corner. Had a little bit of late life on it, tailing back over the zone. Excellent pitch.
I'm not sure if there's another catcher that pitchers enjoy more throwing to than Yadier Molina, and there's a little flare to right, caught by the right fielder Harrison Bader. That'll do it. 1-2-3 inning for Martinez and the Cards. Joining us here in the fourth inning is A.J. Hinch, who has been on every one of our Root Sports telecasts this year. A.J., the fans love it. They talk about it being so insightful.
We need to get him a polo.
I wouldn't wear it. Not during the game. I'll wear it like on the golf course, but I'm not wearing it during the game. I have a uniform.
One fan called you the breakout star of the spring.
Nice.
You got that going for you.
I want to leave that fan some tickets. Let me know who it is.
We'll start with Colin McHugh, 47 pitches. So just wanted to get him out of there after the strikeout. Ended on a good note.
Yeah, well, a little bit of volume. I mean, we had 60 pitches. I told him he can't use them up in 2 innings. It's tough to manage the volume. He went down and had another little session in the bullpen where he could build his volume a little bit. But like I said, it's before the game. It's different when you come out and play against this competition. Most of their A lineup. I don't care what you do on the backfields. It's just a little bit different. So we were precautionary measures bringing him out because he's trying to build arm strength. But all in all, got through his outing, 47 pitches, and just a little quicker than we wanted.
What's next for him?
Probably in 5 days, he'll have a somewhat of a simulated game. The minor league camp breaks, so we can't really do anything. We don't play this weekend after the Cubs series, so we're going to have to build his arm strength a different way. But it's almost impossible to think that he could make the season, given the 47 pitches is as deep as he's gone in a major league game, and only 2 ups. So it's likely DL for him, and then we'll kind of look at the minor league schedule and then hopefully get him back as soon as possible.
Some pitches up in the zone from Colin McHugh. Obviously, he wasn't as sharp as he wants to be. What are you looking to see from Colin after this start? What do you look like in the next couple days?
Yeah, recovery is a big deal. We talk to our starting pitchers every day. The next day, the trainers work with them, obviously, and I wasn't a pitcher, so I don't know exactly how much of a mess it feels like the next day. But I know they feel like they've pitched in all their lower extremities, their upper body, their shoulder, their scap, like everything has been taxed the night before. So recovery will be key. He'll throw a bullpen here with us, most likely on the last day of spring training. while we're in Florida, and then you know, we'll build him up again in a minor league situation 5 days from now.
Can you give us a rough idea of how many starts you want to see from a starting pitcher in spring and how many outings you want to see from a reliever in spring?
Yeah, 4 or 5 starts for a starter is the bare minimum. You know, obviously you can count different things, a backfield, a simulated game, a live BP. You can count a lot of different ways, but 5, maybe 6 is suitable. For a reliever, the only thing I really want to see is all of their pitches be commanded. And I want to see them go back-to-back, or a guy like today with Phillies is going to go 2 innings. You know, James Hoyt went 1+ inning. Gustave is going to do that. So I want to see them kind of simulate their role in getting in the game, pitching the next inning, going multiple innings, going back-to-back, which ends up being in the 7 or 8 or 9, sometimes 10 outings. So not a ton.
This is Felice's 10th outing of the spring. Breaking ball for a called strike, 1-2. You saw Hoyt last inning work into and out of some trouble, and that was pretty impressive how he finished.
Yeah, you know, the thing that he brings to the table, you know, I feel bad for he and Gustave, who were the last decision for us. Both come at it a little bit differently, but Hoyt, you know, he has the swing and miss. We talk about it all the time, and it's what separates him from a lot of pitchers is huge strikeout numbers in the minors. Multiple pitches to get swings and misses out of. His fastball's in the mid-90s tonight. It hasn't been quite as hard in his earlier spring outings. So he has weapons to do a lot of good things here, especially in middle relief.
2 strikeouts for Michael Felice to start the third, or fourth, excuse me.
Evan Gaddis behind home plate. I got a question about what is on his left arm.
It's a little bit of the game plan. I mean, or actually a lot of bit of the game plan. He just has uncovered, just like a quarterback. When you think about the plays that he has to govern, we have a lot of information that we want the catcher to absorb. So I guess for lack of a better way to describe it, it's a cheat sheet.
Nice.
There you go.
I would have loved it. I wish we had it a decade ago.
Well, how long before they get the earpiece and the headset so you can talk to him?
Quick inning here, or maybe not. Felice bobbles, but he recovers in time. AJ.
Yes.
Not sure if we're doing this in Minute Maid Park. If we don't, thank you so much for the time.
I hope we do.
Okay.
We got a couple more.
One more?
Great. Thanks,
One more.
AJ.
Why not?
All right. I appreciate it.
We'll see it.
One more. AJ Hinch will join us on our Cubs telecast on Thursday.
Cardinals leading the Astros. MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. MLB.TV Premium gives you a great picture quality and a free at-bat premium subscription, so you can watch every out-of-market spring training and regular season game live everywhere on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. We continue to look at the opponents of the AL West. Todd, it's time for those Texas Rangers.
Well, there you see, Julia, 36-11 in one-run games. Remarkable that they had 95 wins, tied for the second most in all of baseball with the Washington Nationals. Yet, Blummer, a +8 run differential.
Yeah, and that was one of the harder things, trying to explain statistically, like, how does that happen? How does a team win 95 games and only have a +8 run differential? You expect that to be a little bit larger. There were actually teams later in the division that had better run differentials, but they would manage to squeak out those one-run wins, and that was a key to their success. But we know that Texas is where it goes through. They absolutely destroyed all Houston hopes last year by how well they played against them.
It was remarkable, the head-to-head series with the Rangers totally dominant. What do you think about their additions you see there?
I think they're good. Andrew Kashner is a good one. It's just a matter of these guys staying healthy. I know Mike Napoli, he had success in Texas, and obviously a familiar name coming back to Texas. He loves hitting in that ballpark. I'm kind of curious about the Tyson Ross. He has had some arm issues, The only question on him is being healthy, but I think his arm and his style of pitching plays well in Texas, because if you get the ball elevated in Texas, it has a tendency to fly out of that place. It's a great place to hit.
Up the middle, Colton Wong, backhand throw off balance, and Beltran avoids the tag, and he's safe. Carlos Beltran with a little evasive move, leadoff base runner for the Astros here in the fourth.
Tap dance down there at first base. Good job on the backhand. Wong might have liked to have taken one more step and get those feet planted to make a better throw. The salty veteran puts the brakes on. Martinez flew right by.
That's a regular season game. He may try and catch it on a dive, but it's spring training, and whoa!
Yeah, he was like self-preservation and safe.
There you go. Beltran lives on the base hit. Here's Brian McCann. McCann with a sac fly his first time up. Takes a fastball on the outside corner at the knees for strike one.
And just to finish the thought on Tyson Ross, if fly balls in Arlington have a tendency to fly out, he's a big, tall kid, gets on top of the baseball, creates a good downward angle for sinkers.
I like that some of the new guys don't really know or haven't lived through. There's a ball caught by the shortstop. Fine play by Aledmus Diaz as he makes the catch and has the wherewithal to make the throw to first. A little bit late on Beltran as he tried for the double play.
Sinking line drive. That was a heck of a play. Anticipating it coming back to him, makes that dive and play. You can see how tough it is for a base runner. Carlos Beltran holding his ground. That's another guy that'll help your defense out moving down the stretch. Keep him healthy for a full season.
He was an all-star last year for the Cardinals. He was involved in that big out where Will Harris picked up a strikeout, helped the American League win. Strike one, Evan Gattis, 0-1. But it's good having guys like McCann and Beltran and Oakey and Reddick who really haven't lived through what has been a Rangers.
Well, Beltran was on the other end of it last year.
Part of it, part of the year.
So he got to see a little bit of the...
That's true. He saw the end of it.
Yeah, so I wonder if he's going to come over with any information or maybe a mentality or a pep talk or maybe a sacrifice of a certain animal. I don't know. You know, sometimes you have to, go to extensive lengths to try and break that up. But you're right. There's got to be, hopefully, that veteran mix that hasn't seen too much of that silver boot action can kind of break up the domination of the Texas Rangers.
Evan Gattis grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up. First time the Astros face the Rangers will be the first game in May.
It's kind of late.
Late, yeah, it is. You see every other team in the AL West, Seattle and Oakland on the first road trip, the Angels on the second homestand, but the first time the Astros will face the Rangers is May 1 through 4.
Where at?
Minute Maid Park.
Believe it. Get there.
Get your tickets now.
You better.
And then we fly out. The team flies out to take on the Angels for a weekend series and right back home. Off day and then 2 with the Braves. So Texas, first 4 days of May. The first time the Astros are in Texas is the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of June.
It's kind of a weird schedule.
Line drive over the head of Martinez, and it's a foul ball. And they play at Texas first 3 days, first weekend of June, second weekend of August, and then the final road trip of the year, Texas.
Well, I was just going to say that's what's crazy about it too, is that you're going to be making up the some of that missed time in those early months at the August and September region of that, and that's when you decide who's going to win a West, isn't it?
Hopefully the Astros are in good position going into that final week, because going to Texas and Boston to wrap up the schedule, and those two teams probably are going to be in the mix somehow.
Yeah.
That's going to be a rough final week. So we'll see how it all plays out. It all starts for real 1 week from tonight.
How am I supposed to pack for a Texas-Boston trip to finish September?
Yeah. And hopefully no possibilities of game 163 or a wild card game coming out of that, because then you have to pack for a third unknown city.
There you go.
Yeah.
But you're going to pack for some good weather and then some horrific Boston weather at the end of the season.
That could be really nasty. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 for Carlos Martinez. Yeah, that's the way you want to finish with the teams that are probably going to be there. You want to have the head-to-head. You don't have to count on anybody else.
Isn't that the truth? Put it in your own hands. But again, we saw what happened last year in April with the 7-17 record. Basically, that's a big month now for the Houston Astros. There's going to be some serious emphasis on going through that and just breaking it. If they just played 500 ball.
On the ground, left side. Reed's hit the ball sharply. It was last time to the left side. This time the ground out to end the inning. So leadoff base hit, stays at first. We're through 4. It's 3-2 Cards.
West Palm Beach. Orbit is face down in the coaching box. Hey, he's back up. Cardinals leading 3-2 over the Astros here in the top of the 5th. Entertainment galore when it comes to Orbit and his skits. Whoa, face plant. Talk about an inflated ego.
That's Airbit.
Oh, my bad.
It's Orbit's cousin. You were right there.
Distant cousin?
There's a little bit. There's Airbit.
Whoa.
And a little noise maker.
What are we doing?
It's spring training.
Yeah, you got to try out all the skits now. I
You
guess,
got to
right?
work out through everything right now. Hey, it's all for real. We saw a little tweet from our buddy Brownie today of some of the renovations in center field.
You're right. They look good, too.
Yeah, everything's looking good. Center field, batter's eye kind of has that subtle Astros logo built into the
Kind of
batter.
digging it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. And then all those great areas to watch baseball from out there. It's going to be fun. We're going to see it for real on Thursday for our final spring training telecast. That'll be from Minute Maid Park against the Cubs. Then on Monday the 3rd, 1 week from tonight, we'll be in the middle of our 1-hour pregame show at this time.
Go get them, boys.
Getting ready for opening day. It cannot come fast enough.
You nervous?
No, I'm excited.
I am, too. I'm incredibly excited.
Not looking forward to the 950-mile drive tomorrow from Florida to Houston, but other
That's
than
right. Are you prepared for that?
Not yet. I'll drive to Tampa tonight, finish packing, and hopefully get a few hours of sleep and head to Houston in the morning.
There you go.
So, yeah, it'll be...
That'll be an exciting drive, though. You'll be pretty pumped.
I saw on MapQuest it's 14 and a half hours. Lance McCullers said 14. He's done it before.
You can beat that.
So I've got a goal. I've got a goal in mind. Yadier Molina will lead things off against Michael Feliz. Feliz looked good in his first inning, 1-2-3. I think what Feliz does and what a Brad Peacock does as Molina misses that 92-mile-an-hour fastball kind of frees up some of what Chris Davinsky can do for A.J. Hinch.
Yeah.
Because Davinsky's a guy that can go 2+ innings, but these guys can too.
No, that's a beautiful thing. That's actually a great point, too, because Devo was kind of getting abused, but Michael Feliz is another guy. I think he's gotten a little bit better with fastball command, so he's able to jump out early. But in order for these guys to throw multiple innings, they've got to be efficient with their pitches. But they're also throwing in the mid-90s, which is great, too, because they know they don't have to throw 6-7 innings and try and really get stretched out. They can just pound the zone for a good 2 innings.
Likes that slider with 2 strikes to righties. He gets one there to Molina, who grounds one slowly. Bregman, smooth, cutting across Correa for the first out here in the 5th. Be fun to watch Alex Bregman starting opening day. He had the well-documented struggle at the beginning of his major league career, but he is a kid that is filled with confidence, and I think it's going to be fun to watch him from day one all the way through a full season.
Yeah, he's got a chip on his shoulder in a good way. But I think that, you know, baseball's hard again, but you're going to get humbled every now and then. And he got humbled in those first 32 or so at bats, but he made the adjustment, came back strong, and finished a great year.
Matt Adams, the batter. No balls and a strike. You've got the potential, and Altuve's not in there today, but with Altuve at second and Correa at short, Bregman at third, you've got a potential to have a dynamic defensive and offensive infield.
Yeah.
And Young getting better. We talked about Correa and how he seems to thrive in the spotlight. 1-1 pitch to Adams. It'll be fun to see him if there's a pennant chase down the stretch and see what he can do. Because the bigger the moment in the WBC, the more he produced.
It really seemed that way, didn't it? He wanted that spotlight.
It's almost like he can hear us.
Maybe he can.
2-1 pitch is a called strike, 2-2. Correa and Angel Hernandez having a little discussion in between pitches.
He's telling Angel, I'm a way better shortstop than you ever were. I've seen your pop.
Swing and a miss and a breaking ball in the dirt. Feliz gets Adams as Gaddis makes the throw to first to complete the putout.
That was nasty.
That was nasty.
The pitch before made it even nastier because he threw a good fastball down at the knees, got the call at the bottom part of the zone. And this ball jumps out of his hand looking like it's going to be in the similar spot, but then just dives out of the zone. No chance for Adams on that one.
Mentioned Feliz making his 10th appearance of the spring. 2 outs, nobody on. He's retired all 5 batters he's faced tonight. Nobody else in the Astros bullpen has been in 10 games this spring. Feliz has a 2.6 ERA coming in. Called strike, 1-1. Feliz taking over for James Hoyt, who went an inning and a third. Colin McHugh started the game and went an inning and 2/3. Cardinals lead at 3-2. We're in the 5th. Breaking ball bounces up there. It's 2-1. Jose Martinez 1 for 2 on the night. Struck out his first time. Picked up his 18th hit of spring training. His last at bat. In the air to center field, pretty well hit. But Aoki's going to be able to make the play with the wind really blowing it over. He makes the catch in front of Preston Tucker by the time it comes down. 1, 2, 3 innings, 6 up, 6 down for Michael Feliz.
At West Palm Beach, Cardinals leading 3-2 over the Astros in the bottom of the 5th inning. Jose Altuve is the subject of Building a Champion. It is presented by Advocare. Talking some OBP slugging, which adds up to be a very good OPS, and you see that on-base percentage jumping way up from 2013 through the years into 2016. And I think that's one of the things Jose Altuve really wanted to work hard on, because he knew he was going to go out there and get a lot of hits. It was just a matter of dialing back that chase percentage outside the strike zone, and when he started to narrow down that strike zone, pitchers had to throw more pitches in the zone, led to more hits and more bombs too. He was taking his walks, but the better pitches he was getting, the better pitches, the better swings he was putting on those pitches, 24 home runs last year adds to that .531 slugging percentage.
It didn't affect his average at all. In fact, it was much higher last year than the year before.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you're in for a pure joy watching this guy play. He loves to play the game, but the way he goes about it and the desire to get better year in, year out is what's impressive.
Preston Tucker's second at bat of the spring as he plays his first game other than a minor league game. Grounds one to the left side. He's now 0 for 2. Garcia makes the play for the first out. Yeah, it hasn't been vintage Altuve down here, but a lot of hitters don't really get going until the bell rings, and he has had a chance to kind of work on some things and played in the WBC, but hasn't been locked in really at any point all spring.
And he's one of those guys that truly uses spring training to work on stuff, because I know in years past when we've covered him in spring training, there was a game where he grounded out to third base 4 times, and I was in shock. I was like, what is going on? Altuve is just spectacularly rolled over everything. And we got to talking to him a little bit, and he said, I'm actually trying to shoot it through the hole between the third baseman and shortstop.
Berniak grounds to first for the second out.
So as ugly as it was, there was actually purpose behind what he was going out there to do. And of course the regular season starts and he goes out there and wins a batting title.
How about that he's in the dugout today? I mean, this is a veteran. This is a veteran that has the day off.
Yeah.
He does not have to stick around for this game. And there he is talking to Carlos Beltran, or listening at this point.
Well, as rare as it is to have a 22-year-old DH in a spring training game, it's just as rare to have a veteran stick around for a game.
For a night game.
Yeah. But again, look at these two, Beltran and Altuve. There's experience, talent, and success having a chat right there.
I was almost shocked to see him in there, because that's not something a guy.
He's probably going to play tomorrow.
Probably. Day game.
Yeah.
Guys, I was shocked too, but he came a little bit late. So the players were actually shocked to see him walk down, because he has on cleats. I mean, he came down here with his bat.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Came down with his bat, glove, ready to go, and walked straight over to AJ. I have no idea how that conversation went, but Springer was like, this guy's about to talk his way into this game right now.
Oh, my goodness.
You've got to be kidding me with this guy.
We'll have to talk more about that when we come back. Fly ball to center field ends the inning off the bat of Norioki. It is 3-2 Cardinals after 5. That is a postcard right there.
That is gorgeous. That's why you show up.
Cardinals 3, Astros 2 in the 6th inning. Ooh. Little pink clouds behind the pitcher. Tony Sipp is going to get a chance on the big league mound. Has not pitched in the last 9 days, working on 8 days of rest. Has been dealing with a little back issue, back tightness. So his last outing came on March 18th against the Washington Nationals. He'll get a chance here. That'd be nice to see Tony have a quality outing or two before we play games for real.
He really needs it. That ego needs a little bit of a boost. I know A.J. Hinch would like to see Tony Sipp go out there and have a clean inning.
And he wanted to see him against some lefties. So here's Greg Garcia, lefty, to lead things off for the Cardinals. Garcia will be followed by Harrison Bader, a right-hand hitter, but then Colton Wong, a lefty. So 2 of the first 3 in this inning are the guys that Sip's going to try and get out during the regular season, left-hand hitters. Breaking ball misses for a ball, 1-0. Garcia has walked and flied to left. Amongst active pitchers, Sip is 4th in career appearances, 480 appearances.
Lefties.
Lefties on
Man.
lefties. He's made at least 50 appearances each of the last 7 years. Fastball way up and in. It's 2-1.
Just remember watching Jesse Orosco back in the day with the Mets coming out there. I mean, that guy would come in and face some of the toughest lefties ever, and he did it for years.
Yeah, just kept
I mean,
going.
If you can do it, you're going to do it for a very long time.
That's on the inner half, 2-2. Garcia thought that was too far in. Sip gets the call and evens up the count. So, Julia, Jose Altuve in the middle of the game comes down ready to play and goes right to A.J. Hinch.
Ready to play. Ready to go and go straight to the manager. I wish I could have heard that conversation.
That is,
because that was probably priceless. We've heard about those conversations before. I think even when he came back from the WBC, he talked his way into 4 at-bats that night. After they had talked about just 3, he pushed for 1 more. So what do you say to him?
I don't know. Yeah, that's, I mean, do you say no to Jose?
He doesn't have his hat on right now because he is showing off the new show hair. Exactly. The barber was here today, so we've got some new hairdos on the club.
there you go. Tony Sip swinging a miss, strike out of the lefty to start the inning. So that's a whole new look. He had a little more going on with the top there before.
The beard was growing too. He had the beard going on. So he's cleaned up, ready for opening day, like a lot of these guys are.
Get it right, get it tight.
We'll see. I mean, Altuve was not on the list of the guys on the bench today.
No, I mean, he wasn't even expected to be at the game. There's a lot of the times, you know, some of these veterans like Altuve don't even really need to come by the ballpark. And some do. You see George Springer down here. He had an off day too and wanted to be around his teammates. But sometimes they get their work in elsewhere, or they just need to go home. Maybe there's something, maybe at this time of year, maybe you want to pack. I don't know, you know, pack up where you've been living for 6 weeks. But that just goes to show you who Jose Altuve is. And
no, I agree. It's not too many guys that'll turn in their hall pass.
Is George still down there?
George was down here until a few minutes ago, so I think once the 5th inning hit,
game was official.
He took off. But he was down here. He was cheering on guys. He had a little fantasy baseball going on, or he would pick guys each inning. There was a hydration challenge happening.
When was the last time you saw George Springer sit still?
No, I've never.
What's a hydration challenge?
They were just drinking a lot of water.
Oh, that's a little bit different for us after broadcast.
You know, that's one thing we don't get to see a lot of is George Springer in the dugout. But the amount of energy that is in the dugout when he's in here is off the charts. It's almost a shame, but, you know, of course you want to keep him on the field. It's really fun to see him be energetic, get the other guys going. They have so much fun around him.
I've got a question for you, Julia. 2015 Club Astro propelled them into the postseason. Is there any more talk about some adventures of the Astros after wins?
I haven't heard anything. You know, that really took off once. Springer, of course, was behind it. No surprise there with the music. It started with music, and there was a fog machine that was added later, and
lasers.
Then the strobe lights. Yeah, the lasers, then T-shirts made. It just kept adding to it. So you have to see what develops. You got to stay tuned. It's a long season and things happen. Yeah.
We know that you'll be on top of the story.
She is. She's always breaking those good stories.
So if
the funny part was, remember 2015, Carlos Correa called up not 21 yet. So they didn't know if they were going to let him in Club Astros.
That's funny.
He got carded at the door. Yeah, dude.
He had to use a fake ID to get in. 2-2 the count to Harrison Bader. Tony Sip with a strikeout of Greg Garcia. Bader stays alive. He likes the high stirrup look. Walk and a strikeout so far. There it is.
Those are some kind of special.
I mean, he and the on-deck hitter, Colton Wong, they are liking their socks, their stirrups. It's a good look. If you're a Cardinals fan. A lot of Cardinals fans here tonight.
Looks good on him.
Zip with a count of 2-2. Breaking ball, chop foul. Zip has been around the plate, though. You got.
I was noticing the same thing. You're exactly right.
You got a good call on that 2-1 pitch to Garcia that may have been inside, and then he ended up striking him out, and then he's been around the plate here with Bader fouling off a couple of 2-strike pitches. And this, we've seen the veterans, Will Harris, Luke Gregerson, even though he's not a veteran, Ken Giles, the back end guys, they're ready. They are ready to go. They've thrown their back-to-backs. They are ready to get Tony Sipp ready to go for opening day. These are some good signs here, the first couple of batters. And he stays alive as Bader 2-2.
Yeah, we keep talking about depth with this Astros organization, but one place where they are kind of lacking depth is that left-handed reliever out of the bullpen. So that's why Tony Sipp, there's so much emphasis on him coming out here and, like you said, throwing strikes. We're seeing all of his pitches. He is a fastball, slider, split guy out there, but he's thrown plenty of strikes. He's trying to keep Hader off balance. He just continues to foul the ball off.
When C.J. Riefenhauser was let go last week, that left just 2 left-handers in camp. One's your opening day starter, Dallas Keuchel, Tony Sipp the other. So you're right, the depth is not necessarily there for lefties. You have righties out of the bullpen that can get guys out left-handed.
And that's what is appealing about James Hoyt, because that split finger plays against right-handers and left-handers, and that's the decision A.J. Hinch has to make. Last year he was lucky to have Davinsky out there, whose fastball changeup combination really picked up where Tony fell off, because he was able to get those left-handed outs.
Bader continues to battle Sipp here. Tony keeps firing strikes in, 11 out of 15 so far.
I'm going to call Manfred and say, if you want to speed up the game, say you can only get 3 foul balls.
And then what?
Then you're out.
That's it.
You can't put it in fair play, beat it. Especially
what about working the pitch count? No. Spring training. Spring training rule.
Yeah.
Well, Zip's getting his work in for sure. Again, he hasn't pitched in 9 days. So with that in mind, the Astros are going to get a little bullpen action going as he approaches 20 pitches. This one gets to the backstop, and the count has run full. So good AB for Harrison Bader.
And this isn't a situation with Peacock getting up. This isn't because of Tony Sipp's effectiveness. It's just the pitch count, like you said, from the foul balls is going up.
Yeah, they don't want to overextend him. He does have a lefty on deck, and that's who A.J. Hinch would like to see him against. Bader's not allowing him to get to Colton Wong, though. Still won't.
Serious. It's a real opportunity for Angel Hernandez to get into the mix and call him out.
Maybe A.J. can use his intentional walk signal.
Yeah, just point. Just go.
Point. Okay, you've had enough. I want to see him on a lefty.
Exactly. We need to set up a situation.
3-2 Cardinals. All the runs have come in the first inning and a half. That ball's a fair ball, rocketed into right center field, and that's going to go in the gap in right center. Aoki cuts it off, but Bader standing with a double. Well, quite an at-bat for the Cardinals right fielder. 1-out double, and now Sipp will get to face the lefty Colton Wong.
And you know what? So what about the double? I was actually pretty happy to see Tony Sipp throwing several different pitches and still staying in the strike zone, not giving in and going ahead and walking, and making that hitter earn his way onto base.
After that long AB, Brent Strom, the pitching coach, out to talk with Tony Sipp. If for nothing else, just to tell him you've got one more hitter. Here's a little breather. That was a battle. Let's go out and get this lefty.
No, I think you're exactly right. And I think one more thing with Brent Strom is he went out there and said, you look good. Continue to do it. Try and be real positive with this outing for Tony Sipp. Don't give in. I know you worked hard on that last hitter, but continue to attack the strike zone, especially with this left-handed hitter up there.
Here's Colton Wong, a triple, an RBI, a run scored. He struck out his last time.
Good pitch.
A little bit low for a ball, but pretty close. 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One-0 count. Confidence to throw your off speed. Snapped off a little bit of a slider and got the aggressive Wong to swing at it.
A little bit low with the breaking ball. 2-1. You see the sky changing colors. Saw the picture at the beginning of the inning. This has been an extended inning for Tony Sipp. It's getting a little darker now. He has been right around the zone, but now he's down in the count 3-1.
Velocity on that last pitch, 92. That's a good sign.
A little late on that 92. It's now a full count. Well, it's good to see Sipp back on the mound around the zone. He's going to end up probably with 2/3 of an inning, and he's allowed a double so far, but it would be nice if he can close out this at bat and get both lefties he faces. Right up to 25 pitches now. Brad Peacock has been warm in the bullpen. Breaking ball, and Colton Wong stays alive. Bader with a double.
Not bad. It's a good pitch and a 2-strike count. He's got to fight right here, win this battle.
Both Harrison Bader and Colton Wong with extended at bats against Tony Sipp. Sipp getting his work in with just 3 batters tonight. Struck out Greg Garcia to start the inning. Bader with a full count double, and now Wong with a full count. And we'll do it again. Tony's saying, really?
Well, Julia Morales might be panicking a little bit with these extended innings. She got the minor league flight that takes off at 6 o'clock, I think, tomorrow morning. Veterans like myself and Paul Bykowski are on the 11:30 flight.
Veteran
rookie
move.
mistake, man. Night game, get the first flight out. You kidding me?
She's got things to do in Houston, apparently.
She's in a hurry to get out of Florida, huh?
No, stop that.
You're going to be in Houston in 12 hours.
Am I going to make my flight? Oh, that's wrong, too. I'll be quiet.
Ball 4. So good at bat, good plate appearance by Colton Wong, and A.J. Hinch right after that last pitch pops out of the dugout. So Sipp goes 28 pitches, 19 strikes, 19 balls, faces 3 batters, and his evening is done. First outing in almost 9 days. Some good things, even though the line overall is not going to look good. With just a third of an inning and a double and a walk.
Yeah, you got to look at the stuff. A couple of tough ABs, but I think he fought through it relatively nicely. Now we got to hear if the back is going to respond okay after his outing.
Hopefully it does, and hopefully we'll see him again for another spring training outing before the season is underway. Brad Peacock will be the new pitcher. We'll tell you about him when we come back. Back in the ballpark of the Palm Beaches, 3-2 game. We are in the top half of the 6th inning. Tony Sipp got his workout in, 28 pitches worth, and now he turns it over with first and second and one out to the local guy from West Palm Beach, Florida, Brad Peacock.
Might be why he's pitching so well in spring. He knows he has an opportunity to make this ball club, and most likely will, but he has put up good numbers in this spring training.
Pitched the very first game of the spring back on February 25th. That's right. WBC Classic extends spring training. So the first game was a month and 2 days ago. This has been a long spring as Peacock had that first start against the Tigers in Lakeland, and now he'll face Paul DeYoung, who takes a called strike, 0-1. DeYoung pinch hitting, gets his first plate appearance, pinch hitting for the starting pitcher Carlos Martinez. Harrison Bader on second. He doubled. Colton Wong on first. He walked. 1 out in the inning. The only team that's given Peacock trouble this spring has been his original team, the Washington Nationals. He was with the Nationals in 2011. Start his career. The 29-year-old has an 11.81 ERA against the Nationals this spring and a 0.96 ERA against the rest of the league. He's got family and friends in town watching this game as he is from right up the road, Palm Beach Central High School. Was a shortstop in high school with Palm Beach Central.
How about that?
And then went to college across the street where we had our first dinner. Talk about getting to know guys. We had our first little group dinner right there at the Gardens Mall. And his college, Palm Beach Community College, now known as Palm Beach State College, right across the road.
Oh, there you go.
On PGA Boulevard. Chopper off the plate. Tough play. Bregman gloves it on one big hop and throws out the runner. Nicely done.
It was a very nice play. Good jump on this ball. Immediately attacking it. Really no play for Carlos Correa coming in. Did a good job of cutting it across his momentum, taking him towards first base with a good throw.
You hear about jumps for outfielders, but that, as you said, was a really good jump by an infielder. And if he doesn't catch it on the first bounce, it's a base hit.
Absolutely. And those were some of the conversations I was having with Adam Everett. We'll see him throughout the season. But he talked about how to get prepared for the pitch when it gets into contact zone. And most people think contact zone is right above home plate. It's actually about a foot and a half in front of home plate. If you anticipate contact there, you're going to get a good jump.
Bregman making the play. He is now the lone defender on the left side. He's close to third base, so there's a huge gap between Bregman and Carlos Correa, as you see there on the first base side of second base. Breaking ball, called strike. Peacock ahead of Dexter Fowler. No balls and 2 strikes. Brad Peacock out of options coming into spring training. He knew this was a make or break spring, and by all appearances, it looks like he has made the 25-man roster for the Houston Astros. AJ has pretty much told everybody to this point. Yandel Gustave and James Hoyt being the 2 guys fighting it out for spot number 25. Up high for a ball, 2-2.
Peacock, 4 pitches. He has pitched out of that starting role and bullpen role for the Houston Astros. Fastball, curveball, changeup. Does have a little bit of a wrinkle in that slider.
Threw that slider a lot last year. There it is. Or was that the curveball? That was a curveball for a swing and a miss. And strike 3 against Dexter Fowler. So Peacock gets out of the jam. Nicely done by the West Palm Beach native.
Night here in West Palm Beach. Cardinals leading the Astros 3-2 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Make sure to get your single game tickets for the 2017 season and see incredible games like the Astros home opener and matchups against the Yankees, Red Sox, and Rangers. Visit Astros.com for more info or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Good time to do it. Might be in August, too. We've got a Baggy Hall of Fame weekend coming up. This is an interesting stat right here. You see it, most runs responsible for from 1991 to 2005. Some big names on that list. You add up the runs and the RBIs. You can't double dip on the home run. That's why we took out the HR. But Jeff Bagwell, responsible for 2,597 runs. Craig Biggio also on that list. But some heavy-duty thumpers putting up some big numbers, and Baggy at the top.
Pretty impressive. That's the span of Bagwell's career. Even Barry Bonds trailing him by 62 in that department. It'll be fun to chat with Bagwell during the course of the year.
Yes.
Hopefully he'll be in the broadcast booth a time or two. New pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals is left-hander Tyler Lyons. 6'4", 210-pounder. Has pitched with the Cardinals for 4 seasons now. Appeared in 30 games last year. Had a 2-0 record and a 3.38 ERA. He'll face the heart of the Houston Astros order: Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa, Carlos Beltran, maybe a pinch hit by Jose Altuve. Just kidding. We don't.
You never know.
You never know.
He's suited up and ready.
Put me in, coach. Lyons takes over for Carlos Martinez, who was very effective after a first inning struggle. Martinez allowed 2 runs in the first and then pretty much locked it in. Just an infield hit by Carlos Beltran and a walk to Reed Brignac, the only 2 base runners he allowed after the first. Bregman had a double, though, in that first, scored a run. Alex probably happy to see a lefty. We talked about the righties he has seen in Syndergaard and Roark and Carlos Martinez since he's been back from the WBC. Now an AB against a lefty for the first time in a while. Holds up. It's 3-1. Lyons has only pitched in 1 game this spring. That's the Atlanta Braves on the 19th. And a walk to Alex Bregman to start the 6th inning. Astros trailing 3-2. And Carlos Correa will get another at bat. I've got to think, and this is not any way, shape, or form saying Carlos is excused for not hitting here in spring training, but I got to think, going from his at bats in the WBC, even for Beltran, but for a young kid especially, his at bats with all the intensity of the WBC and coming back to spring training, it's tough to get that same adrenaline going, I would think, for these ABs.
Yeah, they almost turn into courtesy ABs, just knowing that the more ABs you get, the closer you're getting to opening day.
There's a ball ripped in the right field. He was ready for that pitch from Lyons, and the Astros have the first 2 on. So number 1 on first base, number 2 on second base, setting the table for the cleanup hitter Carlos Beltran.
A true competitor, taking advantage of these ABs. We've seen him swinging early in counts. Does have a walk in that first AB, but a pitch up and out over the plate. Pretty simple for a hitter as good as Carlos Correa to just lace that into right field.
Pretty swing.
And again, not trying to do too much.
If you try and do too much with that pitch up and away, you either pop it up or hit a fly ball to right. Beltran swings at the first pitch, and he pops it up. Infield fly rule in effect, and the catch is made for the first out. Catch was made by Paul DeYoung, who was a pinch hitter last inning. So 1 out, 2 runners on, and Brian McCann the batter. McCann has an RBI tonight. Sac fly, also hit a line drive that was caught nicely by the shortstop Aledmus Diaz. You know, we talk about getting to know each other in the booth. We talked at the beginning of spring training how we both enjoy baseball in its purest form with the windows open. We've had the windows closed almost the last week and a half.
Yeah.
Because we have no chance to keep our papers intact.
Yeah, our desk would be a mess.
The wind has been steadily blowing every game in from right field, which in essence is right into our broadcast booth.
Yeah, it's been awful.
We've tried it. It's a tough spring for us. The wind chill's just been impossible to deal with.
It has been.
I'm slightly kidding, but no, I would love to. Every time we open up the window, it's
your desk almost goes blown away.
Yeah, there's no chance. Pop tie in the air. So regular season, we're anticipating a little less wind in this, obviously for the home games especially.
Yeah. Too bad they don't give us the roof button.
We thought, speaking of wind, your hair has been held up perfectly in the wind this year.
Yes.
And there we see another look at Julia versus Blummer.
Gone a little heavy on the product. I apologize.
Yeah, of course Blummer's hair is perfect.
That looks like a photo.
In every condition.
I mean, that looks like a painting.
It does. Thank you.
It's like Will Ferrell and Anchorman. Everybody come see how good I look, Blummer.
I like that reference.
That was a good one.
Two-one pitch. That's a nasty breaking ball in the inner half. Started the ball at McCann's body and broke it over for a strike.
Yeah, we're usually not ones to complain about the conditions we're working in.
Not even complaining. It's more just a nuisance.
It is a nuisance because I do like having the windows open. But
I guess I am
when it's
complaining.
blowing all over the place. Well, wind is the single worst element ever.
Oh, it's a high called strike. McCann wasn't sure that was a strike, but no argument from the DH. And he tells his buddy Evan Gaddis what this lefty throws on his way back to the dugout. Like that little exchange, huh? So it's good from one veteran to the next.
Yeah. You like to think that it would be a little bit of a scouting report. It might have been a little chastising in the umpire saying,
swing at everything.
What have you been working with back here all night?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he said swing if it's close, especially on a high pitch.
Yeah, maybe he's telling Evan, you didn't give me the heads up that this guy's going to call everything.
New catcher for the Cardinals. Yadi Molina's night is over. That is Alberto Rosario behind the dish now. Astros have kept their lineup pretty much intact from the start, although we do have a new right fielder in the game. Ground ball to third. There's another nice play. Left side, the Cardinals infield has been solid defensively tonight. Greg Garcia with that play. We're heading to the seventh, 3-2.
By Kubota. Let's take a look at Dallas Keuchel, the ace of this starting staff. His spring has been pretty good, and in the beginning it was all about health, that shoulder, having the strength, feeling good physically. Well, you see the numbers there, 12 innings pitched, 1.5 ERA. That's in 3 starts that he's had. Those first earned runs came in that last start that he had when he went 5 innings. Tomorrow he'll start in Jupiter. We'll go hopefully 5 to 6. He's going to throw a bullpen Friday and be ready to take the ball for his 3rd straight opening day for the Houston Astros. Astros have good luck when he's on the mound on opening day, as he's won both of those. You take a look at those 2 games. The one against Corey Kluber, he went up against him in 2015 and obviously had an excellent year in 2015, winning the Cy Young last year in New York. So Astros come out winners when he's on the mound on opening day. Let's see if he can make it 3 in a row, guys.
That would be nice, going against the King Felix on opening day this April the 3rd, a week from tonight. A week from tonight, we'll be just underway, 5 minutes into the game.
Beautiful.
Let's do it.
Change
Keiko will
those
be on the
sleep
mound.
patterns a little bit.
Change the sleep patterns. Aledmus Diaz leads off. Yeah, you get used to getting up really early in spring training and retiring a lot earlier than you would during the regular season as well. Brad Peacock is the pitcher, on for his first full inning of work. He came on with runners on 1st and 2nd and 1 out and got through that 6th inning, picking up a ground out and a strikeout. Swing and a miss. Diaz not even close to that pitch. It's 2-2.
That was impressive.
I mentioned he threw more sliders last year by a wide margin than he did in any other season in his career. Changeup, fewest of his career. Now he's ahead 2-2. There's a fastball. Short hop for Bregman, no problem. 1 out here in the 7th. So what Peacock and Michael Feliz do is they provide a bridge where you can get to the back guys in the bullpen, the back end of the bullpen. And when you look at this graphic, you'll see that there's only 1 pitcher in the starting rotation this year. Colin McHugh probably starting on the DL. That's thrown as many as 200 pitches, or 200 innings, excuse me.
It's pretty impressive. Those are good names. And again, just hold the spot until McHugh gets healthy, come in there. But these guys have all stepped up. I've liked what I've seen from each and every one of those guys this spring training. Charlie Morton is a guy that stands out as far as velocity and command. Turned into a strikeout guy a little bit in spring training. I wonder if that'll continue. Musgrove making that first rotation spot for him.
Correa on the move, and he makes the play to retire Adolis Garcia for the 2nd out. Yeah, but I think when you look at those numbers and Musgrove making his first opening day start, Charlie Morton's dealt with injuries the last couple of years. You see his most innings came back in 2011. Lance coming off some injuries last year. Is you'd like to have those guys, the 8 guys in the bullpen, you'd like to have some length. So if you're into high pitch counts or you're into a season where you're trying to limit these guys that have never gone 200 innings before, you've got a Peacock, you've got a Feliz, you've got a Davinsky who can get the ball from your starter and not wear out your bullpen.
That's the biggest thing right there.
Because they can give you multiple innings.
Yes. But those guys get deep, and then AJ can make some decisions later in ball games.
Then he can use the bullpen the way he'd like to.
Yeah, and not extend a Davinsky or a Feliz, come in and have them match up.
Peacock's looked good tonight, 1-2. He's ahead of the count once again on Matt Adams this time.
And it's one thing for bullpen guys to go back-to-back days, but if you have a guy like Davinsky or Feliz who goes out there for 2 innings, you're going to lose him for 2 more days. Throws 3 innings, you might lose him for 3 more days. So that's, you know, it really affects the bullpen if your starters are unable to get deep in ball games. Those are some good ERAs.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. On a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, down and in. Peacock has faced 5 batters and retired 5 batters. 7th inning stretch time. 3-2 Cardinals. That's been the score since the bottom of the second inning. We head to the bottom of the seventh. 2017 Astros season tickets are on sale now. Enjoy some of the best seats at Minute Maid Park. Save money and get great benefits throughout the season. Visit astros.com/tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS to get your seats today. First exhibition game with the Cubs and the Astros will be Thursday. We'll have that game for you on Root Sports. But we'll also be there on Wednesday, Blummer. I'm looking forward to seeing all the changes that have been made to Minute Maid Park.
Go in there and get a sneak peek like Brownie's been doing.
Yeah, Brownie beat us to the punch. We start the bottom of the seventh with A.J. Reed at the plate. And Tyler Lyons back on the mound for his second inning of work. Foul ball from Reed, who is looking for his first hit. Hit a bullet his first time up, caught by the shortstop, also grounded to third. You know, one of the other new aspects at Minute Maid Park that won't impact fans at the game, but if fans are watching us at home, is there's a new center field area, but it has also allowed us to change our center field camera location. So now, which happens in very few stadiums, you will get a camera right in line with home plate over the pitcher's mound.
It will be new, and that seems to be the trend in some of these new ballparks, putting the camera stand out there so you can get a little more of a straight-on shot. So you'll be able to see the edges of the plate. Maybe not, you'll have to guess a little bit as far as height on some of the pitches, but it'll give you a good idea of what some of the break these hitters are seeing.
The shot you're seeing now is standard. You see that at a lot of stadiums, which is just off center. But there's going to be a true center camera as the ball goes into left center, and a little conversion there caught by the left fielder for the first out. So that'll be something for fans to watch for. A little new angle. Mercado made that play in left field for the first out. A little new angle in our telecast.
It'll be an adjustment period for everybody. I don't know how many games you've called from watching games in that angle. I know that when we went to St. Louis a couple years ago, that's their camera shot. And basically, when you're looking over the head of the pitcher, you're going to have the head is going to be at the feet of the hitter to give you an angle.
Yeah, in and out. Strikes that are either outside or inside, you'll be able to see perfectly, but the height will be something you'll have to adjust to. And then we'll have this shot if you need a replay on the height, because that's a pretty true shot from the knees to above the belt for the strike zone. 1-0 pitch grounded Ramon Laureano's first at bat, and he is retired on a ground ball to third for the second out.
Yeah, I know the guys in the truck are probably looking forward to getting some more cameras out there, creating more angles. We'll get some slow motion, things like that. It'll be
You'll have the
much more
telestrator?
exciting. Oh boy.
Are you a stud on that?
I need practice, but I'm looking forward to it. I think this year will give me a little more opportunity. And this is the view right here that you're talking about that I may be able to draw a little bit more on, give you an idea of what guys have going on in their swing.
Here's a swing we haven't seen from Reed Brignac until he turned 31. A right-handed swing, takes a called strike. Just learning the switch hit this spring. He's 0 for 1 left-handed with a walk tonight. Does have 14 hits this spring and an average of .316. Lyons bounces that one in there. It's 1-1. Ground ball right side, and a 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Lyons here in the seventh. We head to inning 8, still 3-2 St. Louis.
Musburger, what a play. And the guys talking about looking forward to getting to Minute Maid Park to see the new center field renovations. Well, here's some guys that will be manning center field right there, defending all of that space. Others, George Springer, who's made some fabulous catches over the past few years with Houston Astros, but Josh Reddick, one of the new guys that has come in defensively, can get it done. Makes great grabs and has the great arm that we've seen in that A's uniform. Too much. Now he'll be on the Astros side. And then Nori Aoki will be playing some left field, but playing center field today, so he can play all over as well. These guys very versatile as they come in. The Astros have had a great center field group the past few years, guys, and even when Jake Marisnik, a guy we didn't even show in that highlight reel package, has plenty on his own as well. But these guys can get it done out there.
Yes, they can. A real luxury for Astros pitching, knowing that they can occasionally make mistakes, get barreled up, drive it out there, but they've got so many athletes out there. And what you're seeing in a lot of those clips, too, is these guys have no regard for their body whatsoever. They're able to throw that thing all over the place to make some plays.
Nori Aoki in center field tonight, as Julia said. He'll play mostly left, but he's still in the game, hanging out there in center. Brad Peacock on for his second full inning of work. Now 2 full innings into the game. He retired the last 2 batters of the 6th, the 1, 2, 3, 7th. And here he gets Jose Martinez, one of the hottest hitters of the spring, to fly out to center. So he's retired all 6 batters. It's been a good outing for the local product.
Strong to quite strong. 24 pitches. 16 of those have been strikes.
Breaking ball called, strike to Greg Garcia, 0-1.
It's a real luxury when you can throw some secondary pitches, just get me over strikes. Keeps those hitters off balance and keeps them from ambushing you early in the counts on the fastball.
Peacock is throwing pitches exactly where Centeno is setting up. 0-2. Mentioned shortstop in high school, shifted to catcher at Palm Beach Community College, and then obviously became a pitcher at that point, enough to become drafted and move his way through the system. He's been with the Astros now. And a called strike for strikeout number 3 as he gets Garcia looking. That's now 7 straight retired by Brad Peacock. Peacock's been with the Astros every season since 2013. Last year, 10 games for the Astros, 5 as a starter, 5 out of the bullpen. There's a strike, 0-1. Late swing at that pitch, and Peacock just in cruise control right now. 0-2, trying to go 8 up and 8 down. Slow chopper, barehanded, throw across in time. J.D. Davis with a nice pick by A.J. Reed. And Brad Peacock retiring all 8 he faces with some defensive help to end the 8th.
Not too bad when you can roll in there and grab it with a bare hand. Who needs a glove?
Lead the Astros 3-2 heading to the bottom half of the 8th inning. One of the storylines for Houston this spring was Yuli Gurriel learning first base. We're going to see some demonstrations during the course of the summer with Jeff Blum along with Adam Everett. And here's a little sneak preview as these two guys discuss first base defense, especially holding on a runner.
But I noticed that Yuli Gurriel had his foot pointed more towards the pitcher, which I thought was genius because when he received the ball, it was a much easier tag. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, so if we're talking, you know, there's such a big jump between the big leagues and the minor leagues, and we all know that. So talking big league side, that's fantastic. I think more than anything, where we get lost in all of this is 99 times out of 100, 999 times out of 1,000, we're not going to pick this guy first. It's mainly just to kind of keep him closer. So
we hear AJ saying control the 90
Control 90 feet.
Yeah.
So what are we trying to do? We're basically just trying to catch it. We're trying to put ourselves in the best position. So what happens is sometimes when we got guys that are wide open like this, we're trying to make them hockey goalies, right? We're just trying to make them get it to where they can catch it. Now, when you have a guy that's played third base that has exceptional hands like Yuli does, I mean, he's a very good at exactly. So you have to know your personnel. So whenever you're talking, you want to put Yuli over at first base. You go, well, hey, so at the beginning of camp he was kind of like this, and so he kind of got handcuffed a couple of times, not picking on him. But now it's like, oh wait a minute, I'm learning the position. So now as he's learning, it's like, okay, so maybe if I turn myself a little bit more, and Richie's done a great job of working with him, but getting him here to where he's a little more athletic, I guess you could say, prepared, all the above, because I mean, everybody, you can get a little bored over here at first. Everybody kind of thinks, oh, anybody can play first base. That is not true, and we know that.
I'm glad you said that because I talked about it. I've played there. It is not an easy position.
It's a very tough, it's a tough position. Not only that, because you got a lot of responsibilities, way more than everybody thinks. Especially when a guy gets on first, you're kind of just hanging out, and then all of a sudden it's like, whack, you got a throw coming at you. But putting himself in the best position for his ability, I think he's in now. He's at the back of the bag, and he's giving the pitcher a good target. But here's the biggest thing, and now it's not about the quickest tag, but it's the most efficient tag. So now when he gets the ball, it's right to the bag, and it's a swipe, and it's actually a swipe more to the back of the bag to where most of the runners come in head first and they're diving.
Good stuff right there.
He's great.
We heard from Adam Everett how Yuli's kind of changed his positioning over the course of the spring, taking advantage of that athleticism. And we're going to hear that during our bases loaded and some pregame shows, as you guys did a number of demos. That was just one of them.
Yeah, we had a good time back there. It was actually, I was kidding with our director, Paul Bykowski, and our producer, Carl Patterson, because the conversations in between the shots we were taking were just about as entertaining as the demos that were being put on. But Adam was a phenomenal shortstop for the Houston Astros. Won a 2006 Fielding Bible Award, which is a big deal for guys that rove around the infield. But he has learned how to communicate how to play each position, and he's just a great conversation. He knows the game extremely well. He had the opportunity to bench coach here a little bit, but just a quality guy. I love him as a human being. He was a great shortstop, great teammate. But yeah, plenty more to talk about. We've got plenty on the reel for that.
Nori Aoki staying in the game. He's the leadoff hitter for the Astros here in the 8th. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Led off the game for the Astros with a little single to left. Came around to score. Jonathan Broxton, new pitcher for the Cardinals. 31-year-old right-hander. 66 games last year out of the Redbirds bullpen. Two-time All-Star as a Dodger. It's Aoki, Alex Bregman, and J.D. Davis, who's now in the number 3 spot, and made a barehanded play to end the end the top half of the 8th inning. He's been one of the better hitters this spring of the youngsters. In fact, we have J.D. Davis and Derek Fisher back-to-back in the 3-4 spots. And A.J. Hinch has really made a point to talk about those two. When you think about the takeaways you have from spring training, those two guys, Davis and Fisher, have to be right up there on top of your list.
Completely. You want these guys to come in and prove something to you, and I think both those guys did. We've had AJ on a couple times, and he kind of hinted at the fact your first spring training, you're kind of in awe, kind of finding your way around big league camp. Your second time in, you're trying to prove something, and both those guys showed up on a mission. But I've been really impressed with, you hear a lot about these guys, you read about them. Baseball America, top 100, prospect lists, this and that. You hear their names pop up in trade rumors because other teams covet them. And then you get a chance to watch him play. And Derek Fisher, for me, guys, really, he stands out as far as being a speed guy, a good defender, and has a good bat.
And you've talked about this, I think, in our very first spring telecast, the difference between your first Major League spring training camp and your second. And we're seeing more of the athleticism. Maybe they're not squeezing the bat as tight this spring. Fisher's been a maniac on the bases.
He's been amazing. What is 10 for 10 on the base paths, which is an incredible number. But no fear out there. You want to see how these guys, their baseball instincts sometimes take over. And in order to steal some bases, you got to have some of those instincts, and he's shown them.
Aoki with a 3-2 count, giving Broxton an extended at bat, and he ends up drawing a walk. Nicely done by Aoki.
Aoki working that walk, fouling off some pitches. We talked about some of the acquisitions, Josh Reddick on that list too, but these are the current Astros with lowest strikeout percentage in 2016. These guys fight. They give you a battle when they're in that batter's box. They don't want to go down swinging. You saw it right there with Aoki fouling off a ton of pitches before getting the walk. But that was a lot of the concern that the Astros had in bringing in guys like Aoki, Reddick, McCann, Beltran, guys that put together big league at bats and force these pitchers to throw a lot of pitches to them.
Aoki's night is over. He has a pinch runner for him after that walk. Here's Alex Bregman. I think Aoki's going to be interesting to watch for that reason, because he can give you at bats. We told you he's probably going to be at the bottom of the order, more than likely the number 9 hitter, but he can give you at bats where he works a pitcher down. And now if you have a 9 or 10 pitch at bat, he had a 9 pitch at bat to draw the walk against Broxton. Now all of a sudden he's taxed a little bit and he's rolling into the top of the order.
No, you get base runners on, and it's a different top of the order. We've talked about it plenty when you start rolling into George Springer, Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, guys with thump and guys that can drive in runs. And even Aoki, if he's not playing every day, he's a guy that can come in and lead off against a closer in the 9th inning and really pester you and put some pitches on those closers. Maybe you don't get to him that night, but maybe you ramp that pitch count up enough to where you don't have to see him the next couple days.
Bregman with a 1-0 count. He walked his last time. He also doubled his first at bat. Alex takes a called strike. It's 1-1. Well, we mentioned J.D. Davis and Derek Fisher being two of the young stars this spring. J.D. Davis is on deck. Fisher in the hold. You also look at, guys like Colin Moran and A.J. Reed. Tyler White had some really good at bats. Those guys are going to all be right on the cusp, playing for a Fresno Grizzlies team that's going to have a lot of potential to step in if the Astros need him. The Astros have had a relatively healthy spring, but those guys show that they are major league ready.
And they've gotten a taste of the big leagues. They want to be back in the big leagues, so they're going to have a little bit of anger, so to speak, when they're going down there to play a little bit. And they know that they have to be prepared because they've seen it. They got an opportunity up here at the big leagues. Something happens and they need to come in and fill in for a while. They should be ready.
Chopper left side, the play to second in time, and not in time on the return. So Bregman lives on the fielder's choice. He's there with one away.
Just a little note for kids watching at home. Alex Bregman in a spring training game, hustling all the way through the play. Not what he wanted to do, but he understood the situation and wanted to stay out of that double play. Head down, run through the base. Nicely done.
Alex's day is over, or evening I should say, as he is taken out for a pinch runner. It's our buddy
Super Jack.
Jack Mayfield.
Just wouldn't be our final telecast if we didn't get a chance to see Super Jack.
Wouldn't have felt right. J.D. Davis, the batter, he mentioned his spring, 341. Big swing, no contact, 2 doubles, a home run, 6 runs batted in. And he's really looked solid at third base. He's got a cannon of an arm.
Well, I was just going to say he looks like a third baseman. Stocky build, thick, takes a nice, big, healthy hack. We got Bob Horner.
This is his
Obergefell kind of looking guy.
Yeah, no, big third baseman. This is his 42nd spring at bat, so he's had a chance. AJ's giving him some time. He may end up starting out the season in Double-A, but he also may not be long for Double-A because he shows he can hit major league pitching in the month of March, so he needs to probably be challenged at some point this year at the AAA level.
Hardest thing is to not get complacent or upset. Continue to play your game.
Fouled away. It's 1-2. Davis batting in the 3 spot where Carlos Correa started the game. Correa ended up going 1 for 2 with a walk and a single to right. See JD's numbers this spring. No scoring in this game since the top half of the 2nd inning. Into right field. There he is. Another base hit. J.D. Davis with his 15th spring training hit. Tough righty who's a veteran. Kid gets a base hit.
Broxton's been around a while, makes a mistake, and J.D. Davis makes him pay for it. Again, at 2 strikes, letting that ball get deep, firing it the other way. He's going to have his ups and downs, but for right now, he's having some veteran ABs.
Yeah, his at-bats in the television games we've done, he must be hitting close to 500, if not higher. We do not see him retired very often in our Root Sports telecast.
That's very true.
Here's the other guy we were talking about at the plate now, Derek Fisher, 294 this spring, a home run, 8 runs batted in, and 10 for 10 in the stolen base department, more steals than anybody in baseball in the Grapefruit League. That pitch misses away. He's got the most steals by 3 in the Grapefruit League, and Fisher has just 34 at bats. 10 steals.
That's incredible.
10 steals and 34 AB. Takes a called strike there, 1-1.
Yeah, we were up in St. Lucie. He had a couple of great ABs against Noah Syndergaard turning on the ball, but he had 3 stolen bases in that game, and he was literally slowing down because he stole the base by so much.
Yeah, he was running
close.
They didn't even have a chance to throw him out in that game. 1-1 pitch away. It's 2-1. The other thing with Fisher, in addition to his 294 batting average, we mentioned 34 ABs. Sometimes you try and expand the zone to impress people. He's got 6 walks too.
It's a really good point, especially in big league camp, trying to do too much. He hasn't.
Those on-base percentages over 400.
Ooh.
And he's ahead of the count here, 3-1. Astros trailing 3-2, tying run on second. Jack Mayfield, go-ahead run on first, and J.D. Davis.
See if Derek Fisher tries to hit one through this hurricane here at West Palm Beach.
It has been a steady wind blowing in for the last few games of our broadcast season, at least in spring training. Strong from right field. It's been a tough field for left-hand hitters the last week or so. And strike on the outer half. Caught a piece of the corner. It's 3-2.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, that was close to being ball 4. Dexter McCall's going to be the pinch hitter on deck for the designated hitter, Brian McCann. He does not have a spring training at bat yet. This could be his first at bat in a bases loaded situation if Fisher reaches. Brockton up to 22 pitches, just 1 out here in the 8th. Tried to hold up the appeal. No swing. Good job by Derek Fisher drawing a walk. Laying off a breaking ball out of the zone. He continues to impress, and now the bases are loaded. So the two guys we touted back in the pregame show, when Kevin asked you who's been impressive, base hit and a walk, trying to lead to a win.
We got a real chance at a scouting job.
Here is Dexter McCall, 6'1", 225-pounder, out of Tampa, Florida. Spent last year at Quad Cities getting his first spring training at bat, and it comes with the bases loaded against a veteran right-hander reliever, Jonathan Broxton, with his team down 1. Ground ball to short, could be 2. The flip to second 1. The relay in the dirt, but picked cleanly by Jose Martinez at first to end the Astros threat. We head to the 9th. It's still 3-2 Cards.
And it's been a stellar night for Brad Peacock, the local kid doing well in front of family and friends, getting the breaking ball on Dexter Fowler, showing the heater. Did a good job of setting up Garcia with a couple of breaking balls previous to that. But he has gone 2 2/3 strong. No walks, no earned runs, no hits, only 3 punch outs that you just saw right there. And he is back out there in the top of the 9th inning.
Been fun to watch. He's retired all 8 batters. He knows he's on the team. He also knows he came into spring training fighting for a job, not only on this team, but really kind of an audition for the other 29 teams as well.
Yep.
Because he was out of options. He did not know his status going in. And here he is making the Astros team. He's going to be a long man out of the bullpen, but he can also be a spot starter if you need him.
Yeah, he's definitely been stretched out.
As he starts the inning with 31 pitches, and Paul DeYoung is the first batter he faces. Now check that. This is Alberto Rosario. Rosario leading things off. DeYoung is on deck, and then we flip to the top of the order where Jonathan Broxton's spot is. So Peacock has been very solid. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rosario. Game started with Colin McHugh making his first spring training start. He went 1 2/3 innings. Hopped in the air. Foul territory. Centeno and Reed are over. Centeno going a long way to make that play for the first out.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive getting that far out from behind home plate.
Astros had a bit of a logjam at AAA as we take another look at this play by the catcher Centeno.
And he had no intention of letting A.J. Reed get anywhere near this baseball. Nice play.
They had a bit of a logjam at the catching position with Tyler Heineman, with Max Stassi, and with this guy Juan Centeno coming over from the Twins. So earlier today the Astros made a deal. Tyler Heineman traded to Milwaukee, and he posted a nice thing on social media thanking the Astros for allowing him to live his dream, but he's also looking forward to
Is it not obligatory to do those things now?
Not all of the guys do it, but yeah, it's a nice touch, I think.
Because they fear Twitter. That's why they do it.
Fear the Twitter?
Yeah, they're like, if I don't say, hey, thanks, I'm just kidding.
Now, we wish Tyler the best. There just wasn't enough at-bats for all those catchers at that level.
Well, real opportunity. And, again, he's a good catcher, and the Brewers are going to get themselves a good kid and a good catcher in Tyler Heineman.
So Heineman no longer a member of the Astros. 1 out. Nobody on. Peacock has gone through the lineup once. Retired all 9 batters he has faced. Young getting his second at bat. That ball is ripped past the shift into center field. Actually left center field. That ball really took off and got past Jack Mayfield for the first hit allowed by Brad Peacock.
It's a scalded dog going back up the middle.
So the top of the order, Chad Huffman will pinch hit for the pitcher Broxton. The other takeaway from this spring, and maybe the most important, the exception of a guy or two here and there, Colin McHugh, Tony Sipp, but for the most part, this has been a healthy camp.
Yes, that is very nice too. That's always the biggest concern, especially this is one of those unique spring trainings where you've got a couple extra weeks, you've got the WBC, so you're here an extended amount of time, and sometimes that can lead to some issues with guys, but for the most part, the Astros have done a good job of keeping these guys on the field and healthy.
And we saw both McHugh and Sipp tonight. Will Harris had a small little issue earlier this spring. Evan Gattis in the very beginning of spring training didn't catch as much, but it's all been minor stuff. And we have, for the most part, seen the Astros with 2 games to go in Florida, knock on wood, stay healthy for those two. It's been a really solid camp that way. Guys getting their work in, and a lot of guys getting more at-bats than they normally would have with the WBC.
Yes.
We've seen George Springer approaching 60-plus at-bats. Marwin Gonzalez is in the 50s. He's going to end up in the mid to upper 50s in at-bats. 1-2 the count. Peacock trying to get the pinch hitter Chad Huffman here. The pitch gets away. DeYoung heads to second. And he's there with 1 away. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Throw down to first by Centeno. Nice action on that pitch by Peacock, and there's 2 away.
It was really nice starting down. Not really seeing that breaking ball pop up out of the hand of Brad Peacock, really exposing that 12-6. This is more of maybe a power slider. Good job by Centeno.
Yep. Good movement and a good job by the catcher to block it. Well, most guys on the Astros have been living out of hotels for a while, but this guy, Brad Peacock's been living at home. Been nice to be at home for the last 6-7 weeks. Called strike, 0-1. West Palm Beach guy. Now facing Wilfredo Tovar, getting his first at bat. Mike Fiers also making the commute out of his home. Ground ball right side. Peacock allows 1 hit in 3 2/3 innings. Well done, Brad Peacock. We head to the bottom of the 9th. 3-2 Cards. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Advocare. We build champions. Bottom half of the 9th inning of our last Grapefruit League game of the spring training schedule on Root Sports. 2 more to go for the Houston Astros, home and home with the Miami Marlins. They will play tomorrow afternoon in Jupiter on the road and then wrap it up at home Wednesday. And we'll be back with you on Thursday when the Astros are back in town taking on the Chicago Cubs. That'll be the first of 2 against the defending world champions. We'll be on the air for that game with our pregame show at 6:30 for a 7:10 first pitch as Kevin Segrist comes out of the Cardinals bullpen and tries to close out this 3-2 game. Since it is our last telecast here in Florida, I want to thank the crew down here in the Palm Beach County area. We're looking forward to meeting our crew in Houston. You obviously know the guys. I get to meet them for the first time, and we'll be working that first game on Thursday and then doing it all for real on Monday night.
Cannot wait. It's going to be great. Just hope you have a safe trip driving into Houston.
I'll be good. Called strike to Juan Centeno, 0-1. Yeah, I'm guessing I'm leaving tomorrow morning around 10 or 11 and hoping to pull into my place in Houston by 1 or 2 in the morning. That's the hope.
Very nice.
See how the traffic plays into that equation. Breaking ball, 0-2. Segrist on for the Cardinals after Jonathan Broxton worked out of a bases loaded jam in the 8th. Astros had the bases loaded and 1 out, but Broxton got an inning-ending double play. Centeno drills one off the front of the Astros dugout. Had a few people scared in there, but not Julia. She's well protected down there in her little cubby hole.
Coming in hot.
There she is.
Yep, plenty of netting.
I'm good. I still duck, though.
What time's your alarm going to go off tomorrow?
Flying everywhere.
What time's your alarm going off? Speaking of my travel. 3 o'clock. 3 a.m.
Don't even sleep.
Right?
Just fight through it.
No, honestly, we're hitting my bedtime right about now. My spring training bedtime is coming up.
So 3 Eastern, as fans watch back home. We're 6 hours away from your alarm going off. Ish.
Oof.
Right?
No, you're right.
I really like how you're driving this point home, Todd.
I mean, I'm just going to go straight to bed, I guess.
Let's go straight to the airport.
I was going to try to eat something, or it's been a while since I've had a snack.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We're heading into danger zone.
This could be angry Julia time.
Tired and hangry.
Now the big predicament. Do I sleep or snack? I don't know. I'm delirious, I think.
We've lost her, guys. Bring her back.
I'm hanging on. Imagine 3 o'clock.
Are you the only one in the dugout right now?
I think so.
What happens if we need a walk-off interview? If they walk it off, it's going to be exciting.
Super Jack's going to have to interview her. Look at this.
Let's see the dugout.
Look at all of her friends hanging out.
Me and my friends.
Where's
it gets kind of lonely at the end of games.
When did Altuve finally leave?
Is he not in here
Oh, is
anymore?
he?
I'm surprised he's not in here.
I was going to say, if he's still in there, that would
He
be.
might have taken off for that last group that
I hope so.
went to the clubhouse.
The fact that he was even in there, he and Springer on their day off, spending some time in the dugout during the game, that's more than impressive. Centeno with a little battle here, lefty on lefty. Centeno and Max Stassi will probably share some at-bats.
I think it's funny how every time we talk about Julia's flight, the guy at the plate fouls off 15 pitches.
Right? Again. We saw Steve Sparks stop in the booth right before the inning. Is that something I should get used to?
Well, what you didn't see is he came in and gave me a little bit of a kidney punch. And 3 or 4 innings later, I went running over in between innings and smacked him across the neck.
He's a little feisty right now.
He is. Did you see him on Twitter?
He basically challenged every other announcer in the league on Twitter.
Yeah, you are on red alert.
Where did that come from?
We need to find this out. I don't know.
Do I need to be
usually
ready? Should I start going to the gym?
Start. You live in the gym.
Start working on my uppercut?
Yeah. Well, you do the jiu-jitsu. I'll do the Krav Maga.
But where did that come from?
I don't know.
If people don't follow Sparks, and I think you should, and just to paraphrase, he basically said, I've scouted out all the other announcers And if there is a brawl, I picked out the weakest announcer on every team. Here's a ball towards the middle of the diamond and it's played. So good AB by Centeno. He ends up getting thrown out.
Oh, man.
Oh, we're in action. You're practicing.
Yeah, there you go.
That was my right jab.
Okay.
Okay, we need to work on that.
Have you ever done the boxing fitness workout?
Yeah, I've done some kickboxing.
There you go. So you're ready.
I've done it all.
But yeah, Sparky basically called everybody out.
Yeah, I had to back him up. I said, hey, man, if things get nasty, you know where to find me. I got your back.
I just can't be the only one left in the dugout in the brawl.
No, that was.
I got.
Yeah, seriously.
Gotta go out there and at least fake it.
Can you imagine that? A brawl in the field and then the boos start going.
I want that.
That's Anchorman 3.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's Anchorman in Major League altogether. AJ Reed's played the whole game. He gets another AB.
We could go all Anchorman. That was a pretty good fight scene in that first one.
Oh, yeah. Killed a guy with a trident.
Beat Julia, where'd you get the grenade?
We're ending our spring training telecast with Anchorman references. That's good. That's the sign of a good finish to our broadcast season down here.
Just gives you a good idea what you're in store for. One thing is for sure that we know how to have some fun
That's good.
and watch a ball game while doing it.
We're watching AJ Reed currently down 1. He does have 4 home runs this spring. That's good for the team lead. 11 RBIs. He and Yuli Gurriel tied for the team lead in that category. Astros have hit 23 home runs this year.
In a ballpark where it is a hurricane blowing in.
Yeah. That's a good pitch on the outside corner, 3-2. In the air, on the infield. Garcia right on the foul line makes the play. And the Astros down to their final out. Ramon Laureano gets his second at bat. All the runs early in this game. Cardinals scored 1 in the first. Astros answered with 2 in the bottom half. Cardinals scored 2 in the top of the second to take a 3-2 lead, and that has been it. Astros held to 2 runs on 5 hits. Oriano takes a called strike, 0-1. Cardinals pitching has held the Astros 5 through 9 hitters to an 0 for 18 night, 0 for 17 night so far with a walk. So the few hits they have managed have only come the top 4 hitters. Fouled away, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mike Byers will get the start on Wednesday, the last day of spring training. Tomorrow's going to be Dallas Keuchel, as he'll get his final tune-up heading into the opening day start on Monday, 1 week from tonight. And a close pitch a little bit inside. It's 2-2. Cardinals fans here at the ballpark of the Palm Beaches wanted that one. Kevin Segris trying to close things out for the Cardinals. Looking for his second save of the spring. And he just misses again. Man behind the plate called it a strike. David Rackley, the home plate umpire, did not.
Tell you what, if there was a left-handed hitter up there, That outside corner opens up a little bit, but with the right-hander up there, he's not pulling the trigger.
Oriano has taken a couple of close pitches here.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it right here.
Foul past Gary Pettis in the third base coach's box. In the air to center field, pretty well hit, but right at the center fielder. Adolis Garcia puts it away, and that'll do it. Cardinals hold on to win it 3-2. The Astros score 2 in the first and fail to get any more runs the rest of the way. We'll have more after this from the ballpark of the Palm Beaches.